have to believe that is out of respect for Ty Benton and his home run hitting ability that he's already made you pay on. So look for the Eagles to potentially continue to pound the rock and then look to go over the top.
Branson Hanley exits. Klein in the gun. Back to Benton again. He's been working that left side a lot, able to squeak his way through, breaks an arm tackle, and that's just enough for Benton to find the end zone for the second time. It is 13-0 South Putnam. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ty Benton Show.
Rick, I have to be honest, if 2 touchdowns is the way he's going to start the game, it's going to be a long night for the Cougars because you get 2 offensive linemen. They cut the defense, blocking down, pulling around. If they get a hat on a hat, we see Ty Benton do what he has done so often for the Eagles. A game a year ago in regionals versus Frontier, I believe that was their opponent. 6 touchdowns in that game. So 2 is an appetizer.
Stouch 1 for 1 on extra points. This one low, trying to sneak it over the crossbar, and he did, out of the hold of Blake Witt. And so the kicking was the big question mark for South Putnam coming in. And so far, Stouch has got styles and effectiveness on his 2 extra points so far.
And I stand corrected, that game in regionals was against Sheridan last year, where Ty Benton finished with 14 carries, 326 rushing yards, and 6 touchdowns. Already a third of the way there, and once again, we're not even halfway through this first quarter.
We talked about all of the returning talent, very senior-laden bunch for North Putnam. It's the junior class that are the headliners for South Putnam. You look at Benton, Klein, the rest of the wide receiving core outside of Khalil Jefferson. Those guys have been tabbed for greatness since they were in the 6th grade. All they did is they went undefeated in 7th and 8th grade, and they've continued it here to the Friday night show.
That's the beautiful thing about these small towns and communities playing high school football in the state of Indiana. You can literally watch little guys grow up into stars for your community, and that's all we're seeing from the Eagles of South Putnam.
Ty Benton last year almost got 1,700 yards, was 5 yards shy of that mark, had 7 100-yard rushing games, and as we mentioned, a bevy of touchdowns.
And truthfully, Rick, the downside, or you could say the negative narrative for all running backs across all football, is they say they come a dime a dozen. But when I look at the statistics for Benton, he averages almost 10 yards per carry in a year ago season. And so that's just someone that doesn't need a whole bunch of carries to be effective and for his presence to be felt.
Kickoff return here for Wes Murphy, the senior linebacker and running back. And again, the squib kick once again from Mallory Shields will give North Putnam some good starting field position at their own 42, but it's been a pooch punt and a turnover on downs here in the first 2 drives for the Cougars.
Griffin Star wide left. Christian Kramer in the shotgun.
In the pistol. Murphy, hand over left side. Over Khalil Jefferson was pushing that North Putnam blocker back and behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a gain out.
That upfield penetration, if you're a defender, exploits a run lane and not your favor to maybe tighten up his upfield charge the next play.
Kramer, double move, rainbows it in, and it's caught up the near sideline by Griffin Starr. Wonderful. Kramer, first
down, another shoey's first down.
The thing I love about the Cougars right now, they seem so poised. Even though they're down 2 scores, no one's in a rush, no one's in a hurry. But why would you be when you have Christian Kramer back there at the controls?
A 16-yard hookup for Griffin Starr, who led the Cougars in catches a season ago with 44 of them. Tight set here, a little pitch off. Coming to the near side is Chase Barber. He is ushered out of bounds by a couple of different Eagles. Brody Berg, one of the first ones in there, but a good drive here. First little pop play here for the Cougars.
Potentially a missed touchdown pass by Christian Kramer connecting with Griffin Starr, something that he could probably learn as he grows in his quarterback development. But Griffin was on top of the defense. If you lead him in bounds, he's able to run underneath it and then go the distance.
Kramer shovels forward to Murphy, and he is planted immediately. Hunter Weddle comes up and smacks him immediately. The second leading tackler a year ago makes his presence felt here.
When you get 147 tackles in your own regard, sometimes that gets missed when the guy that led the state in tackles gets over 230. But Hunter Weddle can play football, as you can see, with that booming hit.
2-yard penalty, 3rd down and 7 in the pistol. Play action, Kramer rolls pressure in his face. He eludes one man, still looking downfield. He completes it across on the far side of the field, hauling it in. For North Putnam is Hudson Rowe, a reserve wideout, and a big 3rd down conversion there for the Cougars.
When you move the pocket like that, as we just saw North Putnam do, it's not always the tight end that starts on the side of the rollout that gets the attention. It's the over routes from the opposite side, but sometimes you slip out of there and the defense lose tracks of you and you get first downs.
Murphy breaks the tackle, trying to find the end zone, dives to the pylon, and he is going to be out of bounds just inside the 1 as Murphy just stepped out of bounds inside the 1. And a flag is on the play, so hold the phone. It'll be a hold, and that's how Murphy got so free, as Murphy, the 5'10 senior, tried to get that first touchdown of the season. It'll move the line of scrimmage back here on the hold by North Putnam.
That is the downside when you do outside jet sweep hitting plays. There is a propensity by some blockers to get a little handsy and grab extra cloth. And North Putnam was penalized on that one.
Loss of 10 will be 1st down and 20. First time tonight that North Putnam has been in the South Putnam end of the field, as you see just less than 5 minutes to go here in the first. 3rd drive of the game for North Putnam. Empty set here for Christian Kramer. Rolls, pumps, slings it out, trying to find a man in front and jumping up and hauling it in. Griffin Starr, second big catch for 4 and blue here on this drive.
The same styles that you've been talking about that's been a marksman on the extra points was blanketing Starr on this play. Great comeback route by Starr, and then going up to high point it at the greatest apex right there. Nice job from the Starr wide receiver.
As Murphy runs into Jefferson and Weddle. There'll be a loss of 4 or 5 as that play was going nowhere fast, as Murphy a little bit slow to get up there. You see him walking there on the bottom of your screen.
Khalil Jefferson looking to play this game with bad intentions. Laid a nice hit on Murphy, explaining why Murphy got up a bit gimpy.
Jefferson 6'4", 200 pounds. Murphy 5'10", 155. Kramer looking end zone near side, trying to find back the Starr, and it will be incomplete. Starr had it, but he was out of bounds. And that's the second touchdown on this drive that gets taken away by just mere inches here for North Putnam.
They found a matchup that they like. Griffin Starr at the bottom of your screen. Kramer gives him an opportunity to go up and get it, and I just don't think he was able to secure.
So now we got 4th and 6.
Although looking at that for a second time, that first foot, the right foot was in bounds, although he bobbled initially when he eventually fell out of bounds.
3rd and goal from the 11. Kramer going right back here, throws a bullet, tried to go back shoulder to Starr, incomplete. And that's 3rd and goal here at the 11 as North Putnam desperately needing to get some points here with 3 and change left to go here in the first. And actually be 4th down on that one. And so the turnover on downs there, a tough break there, just a couple of inches keep North Putnam out of the end zone.
I wonder at what point does high school football go to some level of instant replay on scoring plays? Just because I think if we looked at that one a second time, that might have been 6 for the Cougars.
I think you're exactly right there, Jared, on that one. He bobbled it slightly, but he got the foot down, held it in. But when you have great camera work like we have at the IHSAA Sports Network, replay looks fantastic.
Well, how about we just invite everyone in to get a front row seat to the same camera views that we have on the replay, and then there won't be any discrepancies.
You, sir. I knew that Northwestern education was going to come out eventually, and it shows itself in the first quarter. Well done.
It's good for something, I suppose.
Now all the purple gear that makes you look like royalty, that wasn't part of the deal? So South Putnam has the ball deep, worst field position of the night here for the number 3 Eagles. Penalty moves them back to their own 6. When in doubt, give it off to Benton. Worms his way up. We'll get a couple or two. It'll be second down and still long.
Not all positivity lost for Scott Moore's bunch, only because when you march all the way down to the plus side of the field and have a chance to score, even though you didn't score, you still force the opposing offense to start backed up. So if your defense can get a stop here, you like your chances on the next ensuing offensive possession.
First drive of the night, South Putnam started near midfield after a squib punt, and then they started at the North Putnam 44 on the last drive. 2.5 to go here in the opening quarter. Third drive of the night for South Putnam, dancing his way through and flying his way forward, and tripped up at the 15-yard line is going to be Drew Klein. He's shown the wheels off once tonight, shows it again there.
It's easy football. If you don't like what you see, just put your head down, make the guys miss, take off and run. They brought a Sam pressure off the field side. Klein saw it, got his shoulder pads north and south, and was able to scurry for a positive gain.
Far wide left, Khalil Jefferson.
Third down and manageable at the 15. Klein gives off to one of the backup running back. That's going to be Kason Ames, the bully ball running back. First time we've seen Benton get a breather tonight, and takes it out to the 20, and it'll be 4th down and 1 here for South Putnam.
It's Kason Ames and Briar Cook that could potentially be that second and third fiddle to Ty Benton. I suppose when you're doing a lot of the heavy lifting, sometimes you do need rest, although in the style of ball that we're seeing here today, a lot of guys going both sides of the ball.
Ames 6 feet 190. And North Putnam jumps off sides for the second time, as Ames was staying in there in the backfield with Klein. But the second time the defensive line for North Putnam jumps off sides, this time it's a fresh set of downs for South Putnam.
Oftentimes, the thing that gets you the most is the thing that you can control, and that's the thing between your ears. Mental errors and mistakes are always going to be backbreakers.
Klein in the gun. Ames set to his left. Good snap. Really good protection. Klein's got all night to throw. Eyes downfield. Now he'll try to tuck it and run and dance. Klein trying to work his way to move the chains again. He'll just get across that 10 yards he needed. He gets out to the 36, and Klein using the legs his first time playing quarterback since his middle school days.
That was probably the first time I felt like Klein didn't actually have to run, but he wanted to run. He had Branson Inser streaking across the field, could have led him, keeping him inbounds, instead elected to go get the 10 yards for another first down.
Hudson Rowe, the starting defensive end, able to track down Klein from behind, but not before he picked up 11. 4 wide here for Drew Klein. Benton back with him. High snap, puts it in his belly. Pressure in the backfield, and Benton dropped for a loss. Guess who? Hudson Rowe, second play in a row this time for negative yardage.
Hudson Rowe doing a nice job understanding what his responsibility was to squeeze off of that tackle's butt. He does exactly what they weren't expecting him to do, chase down Benton from behind.
Final 10 seconds here of the first quarter. South Putnam has been lighting the world on fire. Their first 2 drives of the night, their third one has been a little more methodical, and that'll be taking us in to the second quarter. Tonight's game is proudly sponsored by Endeavor Communications. Endeavor Communications doesn't just provide ordinary old internet service. Their blazing fast, high-speed, fiber-based service is a game changer. Don't settle for less. Switch to Endeavor for the winning play in connectivity. Visit weendeavor.com or call 1-800-922-6677. Endeavor Internet, your fiber connection, your victory. First quarter in the books. Number 3 South Putnam leads North Putnam 14-0 here on the ISC Sports Network.
Want lightning-fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town, so you can download huge files in a flash, stream videos at blazing speeds, and game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click WeEndeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
Second quarter begins, second down and 12 for number 3 South Putnam out of Class 1A, taking on North Putnam out of Class 2A. Brand new turf on the field here at Cougar Stadium for North Putnam. High snap, Klein. Here's Jefferson, the big man, in and out of his hands, and he might have heard the footsteps of Zach McConnell coming in to lay the wood.
That's why when you play offense, everything has to be clicking each and every play. A high snap forces Klein to have to jump and go get it, and that's all the time that McConnell needed to then break the contain of that blocker and make the play. Getting another stop on second down, second and long, forcing a third and long if you're the Cougars.
One third down pickup for the Eagles here on this drive so far. Trying to score for the third straight possession. A double move. There's Jefferson wide open. He catches it. Oh, he fumbles it and gets it back, and he's trying to outrun his man near side, and Jefferson has got a reservation for 6.
56-yard pass and touchdown, Drew Klein.
Khalil Jefferson plus minus, if we were to take things to the basketball court and bring them on the football field, is super high right now. Does a nice job stuttering at the top of his route and then accelerates with speed, makes things with style points, juggles it, but then brings it in and scurries for the touchdown. Another one if you're the Eagles.
We see Khalil doesn't wear gloves. He might be trying to find a pair on the sidelines after that, going, I might need a little of that stickiness on my hands a little bit. Almost lost it. That would have been just absolutely tragic if you were South Putnam.
We got timeout, looks like.
And Jefferson might have been an extra man on the field for the extra point. Actually, had to get the right man on here for South Putnam. As we mentioned, Style Stouch, the new kicker this year for the Eagles of South Putnam. They really struggled in the kicking category a year ago, and Stouch is 2 for 2 so far tonight on extra points. Blake with the hold. This one off the upright. He tried to skid it over that crossbar. Was unsuccessful, and first missed PAT of the night for Stouch. But the first time someone not named Ty Benton has scored for the Eagles, but they still do it in electrifying fashion.
It shows you how many weapons they have to go to, making Drew Klein's job that much easier. He can be an athlete back there in the pocket, but when he decides to throw it, he has guys like Jefferson to get it to.
7-play drive that took 89 yards and a little over 3.5 minutes to go. So scoring drives on their first 3 touches of the night for South Putnam. 2 plays, 6 plays, and now 7 plays. And they lead 20-0 here against county foe North Putnam. It's been North Putnam's series in the previous 34 meetings. They have the edge 19-15 over the last 4 years. As we mentioned, their victory a year ago, 23-22, was their first win since 2019 against South Putnam, and North Putnam has won 6 out of the last 9 meetings. So everything in their favor. But South Putnam's been one of the better teams in Class 1A for the last couple of years. We mentioned semi-state round a year ago, trying to get that extra step here this year. Mallory Shields boots it forward, cutting across and swooping this up on the upbacks, but then it's fumbled. And we'll see if his knee was down. It was not. And fumbling that kickoff return was Jackson Andrews, and a self-inflicted wound gives it right back to the Screaming Eagles.
I was 100% prepared to give Jackson Andrews credit for just jumping in front of the squib kick, but when you're carrying that ball in the inside hand and a defender gets a helmet on it, there's a high likelihood that it pops out, and that's exactly what happened to Andrews. Heartbreaking play for that young man.
Best field position of the night here for the South Putnam offense as they start at the North Putnam 39-yard line. Eagles in white have scored all 3 times they've had the ball here as they get a quick turnaround here. Ty Benton, the running back. Drew Klein, his first game starting at quarterback since he was a middle schooler. The juniors calling out the signals, gets the snap. Protection, great, going for it all down the middle's got a man open and making the catch on the run, Branson Hanley. 1 play, 39 yards to the house.
There's no real way to describe what just happened. Hanley just ran right past all of North Putnam. Split the safeties, ran right to pay dirt, and Klein found him another explosive play if you're the Eagles.
South Putnam 26.
That took 6 seconds, 39 yards. Hanley a year ago trying to make it 3 straight 800-yard, 10-touchdown seasons. As Stouch out to try to add the extra point, just rang one off of the upright just a few moments ago. Now it's fumbled, picked up by Witt. He'll be smacked in the backfield and driven back, and that'll be back-to-back unsuccessful point-after touchdowns, where the offense continues to hum along. Ty Benton got the scoring going. Since then, it's been Klein twice through the air.
One thing Coach Soar talked about is he's tired of everyone talking about how close they are. If you want to close that distance between being close and actually being champions, it's efforts like tonight that you establish the identity of your team, which is whether we're playing at North Putnam or we're playing at home. We have a bunch of weapons, and we come ready for a dogfight. And so far, they're up 26-0 in this one.
Offense for North Putnam had some juice going there, but then they had that turnover on downs. They had a goal to go inside right at the 10-yard line at the end of that opening quarter, a drive that spanned 9 or 10 plays, just fizzled out. What would you like to see from the offense here for North Putnam trying to get going here and get their feet back underneath of them?
I think what they did, the possession getting down to the 10-yard line, is something that can be replicated. The only other thing that I would add into the equation is moving with a level of tempo. Right now, they're down 26, and it's not taking South Putnam real long to score. So them moving methodically doesn't actually play into their favor. So just moving the operation up just a little bit to help them make this a competitive one.
Are you surprised we haven't seen Kramer use his legs as much? Rushed for over 1,000 yards and was fantastic using his legs last season.
A little bit surprised, but at the same time, I'm not, just because the Eagles aren't really allowing him to use his legs.
But here comes Murphy breaking free. One man to beat, ripped down from the side by Hayden Tincher. But Wes Murphy takes the squib kick and puts it on the door of the red zone. Big-time play from the running back and linebacker.
Nice job by Murphy. I would imagine that South Putnam is just telling, hey, Maury Shields, kick it as hard as you can. But when it comes to them and North Putnam recovering it and doing things like this, I don't know if South Putnam has an answer consistently. So look for North Putnam to make them pay like that. And right now at this point in the field, at this point in the game, it has to be points if you're the Cougars, and not the old-fashioned way with 3 points, but the touchdowns and extra points, potentially even 2-point conversions.
Tincher saves 6. Zone read Kramer throws and complete once again. Second catch of the night there for Hudson Rowe. Had a big catch on the last drive and takes it here. Just inside of the 25, down to the 23. That's a gain of 5.
We've said Hudson Rowe's name a few times to start this game, but we should be saying Chase Barber's name. He was the on-top receiver that no one covered in Putnam County, and that would have been an easy walk-in score for the Cougars.
3 wide to the left. Chase Barber, that Jared has mentioned, the man at the bottom of the formation.
Wes Murphy in the backfield.
Kramer. 3 men. Russingham throws back across his body. Coming back to get it at the 15-yard line is the aforementioned Chase Barber. Burge there in coverage, but Barber had the inside position.
He's not using his legs the traditional way, but the improv right here, totally not ready for the snap. Makes a couple defenders work harder to get to him, buys himself enough time to find the aforementioned Chase Barber for a more contested catch, but nonetheless another first down for the Cougars.
Backup running back Kyler Hankins in the backfield. They pitch it forward to Griffin Starr. Runs into Khalil Jefferson, who takes him out of bounds. Clock will continue to run on the shovel pass forward to Stars. That's some big offensive plays tonight.
So far, the Cougars haven't had an answer for Khalil Jefferson on the edge. He's been setting the edge, which is what you look for in his outside linebacker positioning, most times to the short side of the field. But then you say, well, if they can't go outside, they should go inside. But there's a guy in there that's creeping up on 400 tackles in his career, so it's hard to do that as well.
2nd and 8. Play action. Kramer throws it a little bit behind Barber, who had the position inside of that defender. It was Burge once again. I'll stop the clock. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
But it's 9:52 in the second, 3rd and 7.
Kramer and Barber just not on the same page. Kramer expecting him to break that route out. Barber felt like he should break it in. When you get down to this part of the field, the red area, you have to be on the same page because that is the best way to equate to points.
Caden Hankins comes as an H-back left. Pitch forward, Murphy dancing, puts his way across the 10. He is going to be close to that first down, and he'll be just short. It'll be 4th down and inches, and North Putnam not messing around. They're going to go for it. Kramer under center, gets the push from behind. Jared, that's got to make you smile from ear to ear. The offensive line moving humanity forward. Goal to go here for the Cougars.
It's Christmas time on short yardage situations, and you see no one in the A-gaps. Nice job by the Cougar offensive line, just plunging forward, getting that first down.
Kramer back under center, gets a push forward from Rowe, trying to find that end zone. North Putnam says that they're in, and they are. Touchdown Cougars, all set up by the Wes Murphy kick return, but it's back-to-back plays from the quarterback Christian Kramer as the Cougars find pay dirt.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. 2 plays in a row. It doesn't matter if you're on the 5-yard line. Go push the pile forward and get in the end zone for the first score of the game if you're North Putnam.
Braden Chu on to add the extra point. Had a 23-yard field goal when these teams met a season ago in Week 3. Again, used to be conference foes in the Western Indiana Conference. North Putnam starting their first year as members of the brand new Monon Conference, starting here in 25-26 as Khalil Jefferson got a little antsy. Braden Chu, 5'10 junior. Christian Kramer jogging back onto the field, and now North Putnam looks like they're going to go for 2 after the gift of a penalty from South Putnam. And Kramer jogged in. Now he's got to jog out. So Owen Thurman, the backup quarterback and wide receiver, will have to come in and be at the switches. Thurman a year ago was 5 for 6 for 50 yards through the air with a touchdown. Murphy behind him in the pistol with North Putnam going for 2. Thurman will keep it himself, bumped back, feet keep moving, and then he gets spun down as he tried to reverse course. Coming in and stopping him was Kason Ames. 2-point conversion, no dice.
There's a reason that play had to bounce to the edge, and that's because a guy named Keaton Mowry Shields just essentially tackling a blocker, not allowing North Putnam to advance, bouncing it outside, another stop if you're the Eagles.
7-play drive that takes 20. It's 28 yards, all set up by that big kickoff return by Wes Murphy. Drive takes 2 minutes and 13 seconds as North Putnam gets their first points here of the night. Now, if you're head coach Scott Moore, you now turn to your defense and say, okay, the offense got us on the board. Now the defense has got to find a way to slow things down against this high-octane Eagle offense.
They just have to keep everything in front of them. A lot easier said than done, but so far they've been getting killed on explosive plays, which is a style that Coach Sorrell technically didn't expect this team to play with coming into this year's season.
Tonight's game is proudly sponsored by Endeavor Communications. Endeavor Communications doesn't just provide ordinary old internet service. Their blazing fast, high-speed, fiber-based service is a game changer. Don't settle for less. Switch to Endeavor for the winning play and connectivity. Visit WeEndeavor.com or call 1-800-922-6677. Endeavor Internet, your fiber connection, your victory. Week 1 of high school football here in the state of Indiana for the 2025 campaign. North Putnam trying to defeat South Putnam for the 7th time out of their last 10 meetings. As we mentioned off the top, it was the loss by South Putnam to North Putnam a year ago that really kick-started the year and got them all the way to the semi-state. Blake Witt dancing, moving, flag is thrown in the backfield. And usually when the flag is thrown there, that means it's coming back, usually a hold there against the return team. Very few flags here in this opening half between both teams. This will be the first one here against South Putnam. And it will be a block in the back. The return from Witt took it out to the 30-yard line, and we'll march it back 10 yards to the 20. But remember, South Putnam just took a drive that started at the 11. They had a false start that moved them back to their 6. They then scored 7 plays later, so moving back to the 20, not something they're going to bat an eye about. Klein with 2 touchdown passes on the last 2 drives. Gives off to Benton, who scored the first 2 times the Eagles had the ball. Steps through a shoestring tackle. Oh, he's dancing his way just through the entire county of Putnam as he breaks out towards the right side. Gets a big block down the field by Branson Hanley. Goodbye, Ty Benton. 80 yards to the crib for Ty Benton.
But unfortunately, that play will be coming back. Illegal block in the back. The same guy that sacrificed his body just before Benton crossed over the goal line for the touchdown is the same guy that will be penalized for the illegal block in the back, and very much so unnecessary. Benton does a nice job of just tap dancing through the entire Cougar defense, crosses field and plane, and it's right here at the end on Griffin Store right here. Blocks him in the back, and it's unnecessary. You don't have to do that. Continue to run with speed. Throw your hands up in front of him. But as soon as you engage with your hands and push him in the back, the Zebras are going to get you every time.
So what was once an 80-yard touchdown run now becomes just a paltry 20-yard run. By the way, the delay there, that was very Hollywood-esque of you. I love you. There was a nice pause, and then you brought the sorrowful news. That was fantastic, by the way. Ames trying to take it outside. He'll step his way through, and the bulldozing backup running back gets it out to the 43 or the 44.
It's the first game of the year.
So you worked on the offseason?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. A more theatrical feel into these broadcasts.
Well, whenever Jared's with us, he is always the star. I will gladly be his supporting cast.
It takes 2 to tango every time. 2 to tango.
Klein on second down, back in the gun again. Ames, a little bit of a bobble, able to haul it back in before he ran into the line of scrimmage. A whole pack of Cougars take him down just shy of the 45, and it'll be third down and manageable.
Benton comes back in the game. What was the yardage amount? So it's going to be third and looks like third and 6. So
Last 2 drives here for South Putnam. Jefferson with a 56-yard touchdown catch up the near sideline to start the second quarter. Then Hanley came back after a fumbled kickoff return, and he scored on a 39-yard pass. 80-yard touchdown run negated first play this drive on a block in the back for Ty Benton. South Putnam's been able to do pretty well on third down tonight. They got 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6 from the 44. Klein drops back. Tried to set his feet, wanted to go deep. Booging his way through, cuts it back towards the far sideline at midfield. Stiff arms his way, runs through a couple of different tacklers, and takes it in North Putnam territory for a first down. Hard run by the 5'10", Drew Klein.
Not taking anything away from Klein, but he had his buddy Blake Witt streaking down the left sideline. But once again, being a heads-up football player, putting his head down and getting what he can take. I'll also say another development is Khalil Jefferson went down with what looked to be a lower body injury on that sideline at the end of that run, coming back trying to throw a block on a Cougar defender. So something to watch if you're the Eagles.
Play action, screened out to the near side, and Witt, and he's showing off the wheels, and now it's a track meet with Blake Witt, and he is in for 6.
Blake Witt, 48-yard touchdown with a little slant run, and Klein passed to
Witt was one of those guys that really benefited Jared from the track and field season this spring. He was top 3 in every one of his events this past spring.
You don't say. Just an easy field glance route going right in front of the safety. And now you see me, now you don't. I missed you the play before, but Drew Klein, as a point guard does, said, hey, I have you on the next one. That one, another explosive play if you're the Eagles.
Every time that South Putnam has touched the ball tonight, they have found the end zone.
I think it's safe to say anytime they touch the ball at all, they're a threat to score a touchdown from far away.
Stouch, a little more air underneath this one and makes his third extra point of the night. And we mentioned kicking game was a big question coming in. They actually, when we talked to Coach Scholl, he got the vibe that we got from the talk with him, you could feel that he was really upset when they played Providence in the semi-state. He's like, we couldn't give a team like that the starting field position at the 40. Kickoff's still working on it a little bit, but if you're the special teams unit, which all the coaches head up over there for South Putnam, to see your new kicker go 3 for 5 in the first half of the first game of the year, it's got to bring a smile to your face.
No more special teams coordinator, departed after last season. And instead of bringing in someone else or designating it to one coach, everybody took the onus to make sure special teams was in a better place. So albeit a work in progress special teams-wise for the South Putnam Eagles, they're doing a phenomenal job so far. And a lot of times when you're going into a situation of a new year, you just want to see how new players adjust to playing on Friday nights. And so far they've checked that box with flying colors.
A lot of happy Eagles there on the far side of the field tonight. In the clean white uniforms here in the season opener for both teams. And the leading tackler in the state a year ago, Keenan Mowry Shields, has her teed up, this time with more gusto forward, and scooping it will be Murphy. Off of his shoe tops, had a big kickoff return last time, doesn't get as much this time. As Mowry Shields is there waiting for him. It'll be first down and 10 for North Putnam for their own 43.
23. All right, so North Putnam will take over on their own 43-yard line with first and 10, 6:40 to go.
Less than 7 minutes remaining here in the opening half. South Putnam will get the ball to start the third quarter. And if you're North Putnam, you obviously need points, but I think the question is, do you try to strike fast, or do you try to bleed some clock here, knowing the quick strike offense that South Putnam has?
The issue is you want to see your offense getting better each drive, but they can't get a stop on defense. So it really doesn't matter so far in the game what they're doing offensively, because if you can't stop the Eagles, it doesn't matter what you do on offense.
We mentioned last drive when South Putnam had the ball, Khalil Jefferson went down with a lower body injury. They're taking a look at his left leg. He is not out there on defense right now for South Putnam. He's their 6'4" senior boundary safety. Play action pass, looking for it all is going to be Kramer. Pass was partially tipped. He had Barber going up the seam, but getting a piece of it was somebody for South Putnam as Blake Witt thought about taking that thing the other way.
Just not an accurate throw right there from Kramer. Had his guy, Barber, goes in the middle of the defense once again in the secondary, finds open seams, and Kramer just can't get it to him. And to his credit, I will say it looks like his throwing motion was affected and unable to really step in and follow through with that pass down the field.
All-State DN Damon Cox, the one applying pressure. Coming back across the middle, and a quick tackle stopping Owen Thurman right in his tracks right before he's able to turn that one up the field.
Keenan Mowry eraser. Even a tunnel screen, it doesn't matter. Out-leveraged a bit, just reaches his big, strong arms out, brings him down to the turf. Another tackle for Shields.
It'll be third down and long here for North Putnam. They have got to try to find and get some more points on the board here. Kramer rolling. As Murphy as a blocker throws, tried to thread it between two different defenders, looking for Barber, again incomplete. Styles Stouch was there defending from behind, and it looked like that might have been Cason Ames in front as well. That's a tough throw to try to thread in there.
We've seen it a few times so far. The offensive rhythm for the Cougars is to move the pocket a little bit, some misdirection, get the defense flowing, and capitalize with some type of action coming back. But so far they have not been able to execute for the better part of this first half.
North Putnam's going to go for it on fourth and long from their own 39-yard line. Kramer throws it across the middle, threads the needle, first down and more, hooks it up with Owen Thurman. That's inside the South Putnam 40. That was a tight window to fit that one in there.
You see exactly why he's described as a dual-threat quarterback. The pooch punt, fake. If you have the throwing lane, get it to your receiver. That's exactly what Kramer does for the fourth down conversion.
And timeout on the field as it looks like South Putnam wants to pump the brakes here a little bit. Beautiful throw from Christian Kramer to find the streaking Owen Thurman. We'll step aside and come back. You're watching high school football presented by Endeavor Communications tonight on the ISC Sports Network.
In your own territory, but you got a Butler recruit. Big time player.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
First down and 10 as North Putnam back inside South Putnam territory for just the second time tonight, or third time tonight, excuse me. It was scored the last time they had the ball on a Kramer touchdown run from 3 yards away.
There's a point that Coach Moore has to make a decision. You get points here. At what point do you start onside kicking? Maybe try and manipulate the game to create extra possessions for your offense, because going score for score with the Eagles is not the answer.
Kramer pressure, lobs it up. It's got his man for 6. Griffin Starr able to get behind that South Putnam defense, and a big-time throw from Kramer. That's 2 in a row, big ones.
I talked about it a couple plays ago, Rick. He missed his defender. He missed his offensive guy going down the field. A bit of a token fake, eludes the pressure, and puts a rope to his star receiver for another touchdown for the Cougars.
Pressure coming up there from Damon Cox, trying to make life difficult for the Eagles. And we talked about how every time South Putnam's had the ball tonight, they've scored. With the last 2 times the rock has found the hands of the Cougars, they have found pay dirt. Chew on to add the point after touchdown. And he does. So a nice drive. 5 plays. 5-play drive that takes a little over 1 minute and 20 seconds for North Putnam. And they have got some life here, Jared, down 33-13.
Building off of this momentum, which is a real thing throughout the course of a football game, the defense has to match the intensity of the offense. If you can generate a turnover, some type of stealing of a play on special teams, you have to feel like that's going to get the entire stadium into this one, for which they have not been involved in because of the blows that they've taken from South Putnam.
Yeah, tonight's game brought to you by Endeavor Communications. As you get a look there at Hudson Rowe, who's had a couple of big-time catches himself here this evening for 8 in blue. And now we'll see if head coach Scott Moore elects to do what Jared alluded to a little bit ago, and that is start doing the onside kicks here with less than 5.5 to go here in the quarter number 2.
And I'm trying to help these guys, and they're not doing anything.
So, got Braden Chew to kick it off.
The junior Braden Chew just converted on the extra point. We'll kick this one away. Witt and Hanley, the deep men for South Putnam. Witt had just 1 kickoff return a year ago. Hanley did not have any kickoff returns. As Chew will send her deep. Here's Witt. We saw his electricity on a receiving touchdown a little bit ago, trying to do it here in the kick game. Cuts back at the 30, stepping his way through, and he'll get out to the 35-yard line before he is hog-tied down. First one coming up to get him was Owen Thurman there for North Putnam. As South Putt, the Eagles, number 3 in Class 1A, get the ball back, leading by 20.
For obvious reasons, this is a massive possession for this North Putnam defense. You started the game taking the kickoff, receiving the ball. If you can generate a stop and then get the ball back to your offense and potentially get some more points before halftime, you go into halftime feeling good about yourself.
Still no Khalil Jefferson out there for South Putnam, their tallest wide receiver at 6'4". Still sitting on the sports medicine table as they're taking a look at that left leg. Klein, give to Benton. 2 rushing touchdowns tonight. Trying to elude a tackler, and a hard-earned 1 yard, but a flag on the far side of the field. As we mentioned a little bit ago, not too many flags thrown in our ball game so far here tonight. And a false start will go against South Putnam. They've been kind of shooting themselves in the foot a little bit. We mentioned the Benton touchdown for 80 yards that got taken away. And just a little baby move there for Wyatt Thomas. Just a slight little movement there, it looked like.
All the things that you could pay attention to if you're an official, and the offensive line seems to get picked on a little too much for my liking.
And it looks like they will pick up the flag and a timeout on the field here for South Putnam. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for South Putnam from their own 35-yard line. We're back with more next. You're watching high school football presented by Endeavor Communications tonight on the ISC Sports Network.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Just one timeout left here for South Putnam, ranked number 3 in the preseason polls in Class 1A. It'll be 2nd down and 9. They'll give them 1 yard up to the 36. A couple touchdown passes tonight for Drew Klein. His first game as starting at quarterback since he was in middle school. Benton just slithers his way through, and now here come the afterburners. Look at the track speed for Ty Benton, and you can kiss him goodbye. Another touchdown for Benton, his 3rd one tonight.
Coach Sorrell talked about power run game, counter run game, and here was that counter run game, pulling offensive linemen and an H-back, tight end type body. And then I know we talked about the track speed of the team, but I think we've turned into a track meet so far today. Nothing but explosive plays if you're the Eagles.
All you have to do, Benton, his first 100-yard rushing game this season here in game number 1, and he's over 100 yards on just his 3 touchdown runs alone. 48, 24, and 64 to the crib. Stouch will miss it wide right. So he's 3 for 6 on his point after touchdown attempts tonight, but it is the Ty Benton show. The 5'10 junior rushed for almost 1,700 yards a year ago and 29 touchdowns. Well, he just had 7 100-yard rushing games, and he's wasted little time racking up his first century mark rushing performance here in 2025.
It's like a basketball player that goes and gets 30 on 8 shots, just super efficient, finding ways to affect the game in the margins. And it's those plays that you think he's going to get tackled for 5 yards, he actually takes them for 70, and he's done it multiple times last year, and he's done it multiple times here tonight.
And by the way, he also had the 80-yard touchdown run that got called back, so it has been just a feasting night here for Ty Benton as he has lived up to the billing here this evening for that high-octane Eagles offense. They averaged over 40 points per game a year ago. They cracked the 50 mark a couple of times as well. They've got 39 already here in game number 1. This game a year ago, Jared, you were on the call for that one. It was a low-scoring game, 23-22, the final for North Putnam. Here, we mentioned it, head coach Chuck Sorrell, the new track and field coach after this last spring at South Putnam. It's looking like Usain Bolt out there with the Jamaican singlet from just a couple of years ago.
Looks like the USA track team out there.
They picked up by Murphy again, had the big kickoff return that set up an earlier touchdown for North Putnam. He's able to weasel his way forward for a couple out to the 41 or 42. Less than 5 to go here in this first half. North Putnam, remember, they do not get the ball to start the second half, so they have really got to capitalize here. Some pretty good field position trying to get points starting in their own 42.
We've already talked about elaborately the explosive plays from South Putnam, but the defensive equivalent is the inability of the Cougars to consistently tackle. Too many missed tackles on the first and second attempt, which oftentimes has led to these explosive plays for the Eagles.
Thurman the motion man, screen near side, caught by Barber at about knee high, gets his way through the 45, then he gets introduced aggressively by guess who? Keenan Mowry Shields.
Chase Barber on the slam. Brings up second and
You've seen the receiver's body get jolted right at the end. That's because Big 56 Keenan Mowry Shields continues to ingratiate himself into this ball game.
Making Barber on the catch, trying to get the reverse going, and it was snuffed out beautifully by the South Putnam defense. Cox and Hall, the first ones to get in there along with Mowry Shields.
As we see Lucas Hall just getting up the field, actually created almost a fumble just by chance, being active with his hands, just running with wild arms. And that's what you do at defense sometimes. You just happen to be in the right place, and everyone says that it's great defense.
A loss of 5, back to the original line of scrimmage at the 42. Less than 4 to go here in the first half. It has been all South Putnam tonight. They've had the ball 6 times. They've scored a touchdown 6 times. North Putnam trying to score for their 3rd consecutive possession. Empty set here for Christian Kramer. So a couple of timeouts left for the Cougars. Play clock down to 2. And one of those 2 timeouts will have to be burned here by North Putnam. We'll step aside with them. Big 3rd and 10 coming up here for the Cougars as they trail number 3 South Putnam. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Endeavor Communications here on the ISC Sports Network.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Shout out to our great crew tonight, our director, Charlie Hammett. Graphics by Cedric Sweet. Replay, Dalton Cox. Camera operators tonight, Matt Badio, Ian Wheeler, and Anastasia Sorrell. Alongside Jared Thomas, my name is Rick Johnston. Thank you so much for making us part of your Friday evening on a beautiful night here in Roachdale, Indiana. Doesn't feel like the end of August. Feels maybe a little end of September-y.
And so they say a cold front is coming through the state of Indiana in the coming days.
Here's 3rd down and 10. Throw up the seam. Hit immediately, and holding on to it is Wes Murphy as he got blasted into by Blake Witt. But that'll be good enough for the 1st down inside South Putnam territory.
Christian Kramer, when you go to the casino, there's an assumed risk. When you spend money, you potentially lose it. When you throw balls across the middle, you potentially lose receivers. That time, Wes Murphy showing why he's such a tough guy, being a running back out of the backfield and a receiver.
Murphy, 5'10", senior, has been one of the better offensive players right now. He gets the call here over the left side. A couple hard-earned yards on 1st and 10. With Hall there to stop him on the left side.
I'm so impressed with both sides, the conditioning level that you have to play not only both sides of the ball, but with extreme effectiveness. Love what I'm seeing from both clubs.
Hall pressuring Kramer, circles, comes all the way back, throws a soft one that goes through the hands of Murphy. It looked like there was a little miscommunication there, Jared, with some of the guys on North Putnam. They were kind of standing there, and South Putnam came through like the hair was on fire.
Seems like there was another miscommunication, as you just alluded to, with the quarterback-center exchange. And sometimes when you catch guys off guard, the defense responsibility is only to key the ball. That ball moves, and as you saw, Lucas Hall getting up the field once again.
As a center yourself, that's got to be one of the more sinking feelings when you snap it back when it's supposed to be on 1 and you're on 2 when you snapped it back, or vice versa, and you're on, oh no, and you're the only one that moved.
I've never done that in my career.
I'm saying you probably thought about it. You never did it because we know that beautiful ball, trying to come back to get it was Zach McConnell. We know Jared never snapped the ball incorrectly.
Absolutely
Come on.
not.
No. He went to Cathedral and Northwestern. We talked about the education earlier. We know he's going to not.
It's always the quarterback's fault.
That's
anyways.
right. Yeah. The center's the smartest player on the field. That's right. I said it. Incomplete pass there. McConnell, last year, no catches. Was trying to go for it there. In coverage that time was Witt. They should make it Stouch there in coverage. So here's 4th down and 9 for North Putnam with the clock stopped with 2.5 to go here in half number 1. Call it 4th down and 9. Here from the 42. North Putnam in South Putnam territory trying to keep this drive alive and scored for the third consecutive series. Kramer rolls. Here comes pressure. Throws on the run. A high arcer. Swimming his way back to try to come get it. And a flag is thrown, and that'll be a defensive pass interference as Owen Thurman was fighting with Stouch along the sideline.
That's just understanding football. You're the quarterback going to Butler. You don't have anything. Give your receiver a chance. Inbounds, allow him to come back to the ball. And what do you see? Forcing the official to throw the flag. Not only do you get a break in play, but you get a first down in the process.
Maybe a 15-yard mark off from the 42. Stouch tried to turn around there, just a little bit late in doing so, and by the time he had turned around, he had already gotten tangled up with the intended wide receiver in McConnell.
It's tough to turn around because defensive backs, and in their world, they always say staying in phase. And that's just underneath the receiver. And so as soon as you feel like it's time to go play the ball and the receiver is coming back to it at the same time, you do sometimes just get caught in a gray area.
Empty backfield here for Kramer. 2 wide to either side. Pump fakes, rolls, throws off his back foot, a little comeback route, and almost making the diving interception was Witt. He wanted to find McConnell, but he underthrew it by about 5 yards or so.
There's a reason why Christian Kramer pump faked that pass in the pocket. That's because Keenan Mowry-Shields right here, he took that pass away, and now Kramer has to go off schedule. There's nothing there, and you see defenders just flying around, and Blake Witt almost coming up with an interception.
First time we've seen South Putnam really kind of go to the zone a little bit there on that play. Murphy, handoff of the middle, hit immediately by, guess who? Keenan Mowry-Shields. That man comes out of nowhere and lays the wood.
There's at times it feels that the defense just funnels all of the tackles to number 56.
It's not a bad plan. It's not a bad plan. A hard-earned 5 yards, pitching it forward to Murphy. Wanted to turn the corner. This time it's Lucas Hall. The sophomore's had a really nice first game of his second year of varsity ball tonight. Hall last year, 24 tackles as a freshman. He and Mowry-Shields have gotten the bulk of the tackles tonight for the South Putnam defense. And with less than 90 seconds remaining in the first half, North Putnam's got to go for it. 11th play of the drive. 4th down. Kramer sets his feet, throws, complete, and Rowe will make that catch at the 15-yard line. A big-time hit that he powers through both Weddle and Ames. But a big-time hit as Hudson Rowe down, might be cramping up a little bit. He took a big shot as he caught that ball at the 15.
A lot of factors at play tonight. Not too hot, but as the body exertion increases, those muscles start to break down just a little bit. So an overstretching by way of a cramp is a possibility here tonight, despite the great weather that we have on tap.
9 yards on the catch. Good to see Rowe back to his feet quickly. Took a shot up high. So you kind of hold your breath a little bit. It'll be 1st down and 10 for North Putnam as they try to score for the 3rd straight drive. See, they trail by 26 here to number 3, South Putnam. 74 seconds left to go here in the first half. And the clock winds as Kramer brings the Cougar offense back onto the field. Fresh set of downs from the South Putnam 15. He'll drop under center for one of the rare times tonight. Pitching a little end around here to Starr. Has a blocker in front. He'll run by him, and Starr pushed out of bounds right at the 5. 10 yards on the dot. It'll be goal to go for the Cougars with the clock stopping with a minute left.
My offensive lineman hat is coming out right here. Jake Turk, offensive lineman, going up to the 2nd level. He hesitates right there. You saw it. And that was all the room that could have been exposed for a potential touchdown. Would love to see Turk go step on that defender's toes. Just get in his way enough to escort your teammate into the end zone.
Kramer calls his own number, gets a little help, and he's in for 6. Kramer with a rushing touchdown, his 2nd one tonight. And that's 3 straight drives with 6 points here for the Cougars.
Nice job by Kramer, just being the conductor of the offense, constantly under control. maneuvers around defenders and finds his way into the end zone for another Cougar score.
Braden Chu on to add the extra point out of the hold of Owen Thurman. 5 and Blue's been doing a little bit of everything tonight. As Caden Hankins, last one to block out of the formation. South Putnam almost jumps off sides. Chu, his extra point is blocked, and that'll keep our score at 39-19. So 3 straight drives with points here for North Putnam. And now we'll see what South Putnam wants to do. They got 2 timeouts left, 56 seconds left. We've seen a couple of times tonight, Jared, where 56 seconds has been more than enough for them to score. And knowing you get the ball to start the third quarter, do you try to go for it all here, or do you try to play it safe a little bit?
If I'm Coach Moore of North Putnam, I'm actually looking to be aggressive, maybe an onside kick to steal an extra possession. Time is on your side because if you convert, you have the ball with all of the field in front of you. If you don't convert, you don't have as much field to defend on the South Putnam offensive attack. So I would like to see them get a bit aggressive here, going into halftime to maybe cut this lead to a 2-score game.
56 seconds to go. Hudson or
6 drives here in the first half for South Putnam. They have scored a touchdown on all 6 of them. 3 rushing touchdowns for Benton, a Jefferson touchdown catch, a Witt touchdown catch and run, and a Hanley 39-yard touchdown reception as well. Braden Chu set up for the kickoff here. Witt and Hanley have flip-flop sides of the field, by the way. Witt on the far side of the field, Hanley on the near, to return the kickoff here for South Putnam. Chu will kick it short. It'll be taken by one of the upbacks here for South Putnam. That was Nate Tincher with a short return. Took minimal time off the clock. And here comes the South Putnam offense with a couple of timeouts, leading by 20 with 53 seconds left, and they'll start at their own 35.
Next time we go to the kickoff coverage of South Putnam, I want you to see the closest side to us when they're going the direction that they're going right now. Their kickoff coverage, return coverage, has 2 linemen there, easy targets for a potential onside kick or just a direct kick at them because they're not out there to catch, they're out there to block, something that the Cougars could exploit at some point in time.
No Khalil Jefferson for another drive here for the South Putnam offense. Their 6'4" wide receiver, Klein, didn't see anything he liked throwing-wise. Puts his foot into the turf and gets a short gain out over the right side. We'll call it a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 as South Putnam hurries to the line with less than 40 ticks of the clock to go. Klein claps, gives to Benton. Some big holes up the middle, keeps those feet turning. Oh, reverses track and then dives across the 40. He'll get to the 41-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and medium.
Coach Sorrell may be content going into halftime with the lead that he has, understanding he gets the second half kickoff.
And Hall jumps off sides. That's a left tackle, a false start from Hall, the left tackle, with about 4.5 seconds left. And so it looks like that probably put an end to the fun here for South Putnam here in the first half offensively. The only thing that stopped their offense here so far in the first half, Jared, has been the first half clock.
I was just about to say breaks in play. There's really been nothing that stopped them tonight.
That pesky clock winding down to 0 is slowed down Drew Klein and the Eagle offense.
That clock is going to be a factor one way or another.
Now he still has 4.5 seconds left and a couple timeouts in his back pocket. Clock winds, 2 and 1, and Klein will clap his hands, and he won't get the snap off. So the only possession that ends without points in the first half for number 3 South Putnam is the one to end the half. But they scored touchdowns in the first 6, and they take a 20-point lead at the halftime break here in Week 1 as you're watching high school football presented by Endeavor Communications here on the ISC Sports Network.
Want lightning-fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. and wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town, so you can download huge files in a flash, stream videos at blazing speeds, and game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click WeEndeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
Back here in Roachdale, Indiana, picture perfect night to start the 2025 high school football season. And at the break, it's number 3 South Putnam out of Class 1A, leading Class 2A North Putnam 39-19. Rick and Jared here with you at halftime. And the big story from that first half, 6 possessions to start, 6 touchdowns for South Putnam. Their offense looked electrifying in the first 24 minutes.
Let's not complicate it. All they did was just create explosive play after explosive play. And for any offense, any coach, when you're coaching offense, that's exactly what you want. If you can get explosive plays, you have a chance to separate from your opponent, and that's exactly what the Eagles did in the first half.
Scoring plays of 48, 24, 56, 39, 48, and 64 yards. And, oh, by the way, they also had an 80-yard touchdown run that was brought back because of a block at the back. They still got 20 yards on the play, but it took away an 80-yard touchdown run to the house. Good response there from North Putnam. At the end of the first half, they scored on back-to-back or scored on their last 3 possessions there, all in that second quarter. What'd you like change-wise for them in quarter 2?
I thought they moved with a little bit more urgency offensively, finding things that have worked for them. With Khalil Jefferson out of the game right now, he's not someone that's setting the edge for South Putnam. So look for them to potentially attack the side that he used to be on, opposite of Lucas Hall. Maybe hedge your bets a little bit, attack inside, even though Maury Shields is inside. But I just think anytime they've attacked the defense from the inside out, not so much moving the pocket, they found a lot of success.
Yeah, Khalil Jefferson, 6'4", senior wide receiver, and one of the safeties, exited the game early on in that second quarter, late first quarter, trying to come back and set a block on a run. We've been keeping our eyes to see if the big man will make his way out. Long line at the concession stand here at North Putnam High School. Brand new turf getting its first ball game of work here this evening. Folks trying to get a halftime snack. We'll step away and get a snack ourselves. South Putnam up by 20 here. You're watching high school football presented by Endeavor Communications tonight on the ISC Sports Network.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit WeEndeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people. Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit WeEndeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
Halftime here from Cougar Stadium, the newly resurfaced Cougar Stadium, brand new turf here at North Putnam High School. A lot of construction improvements going on here for both the high school and middle school that are on the same campus, and they are on the wrong side of a 39-19 score. A couple of stats that have stood out to us here so far. We mentioned Ty Benton's 3 touchdown runs. They have gotten him over the 100-yard rushing mark, 48-yard touchdown run, a 64-yard touchdown run, and a 24-yarder sandwiched in between. He was the one that also had the 80-yarder brought back because of the block in the back. So it took an 80-yard touchdown run, gave him just 20 yards. He averaged 120 yards rushing a season ago. He's already matched that here in the first half tonight. He has been nothing short of phenomenal.
And the 80-yard touchdown that got called back, he actually made the entire defense miss. going to one side of the field, reversing back, and then just running past everyone. So he has that home run hitting ability, is something that the Cougars have to pay attention to in the second half.
On the other side, before we finish that, Drew Klein also, his first game starting at quarterback, was an all-state defensive back a year ago. Was so good. As you get a couple looks here, here's Klein's first touchdown run. This is 48 yards. That first drive, by the way, 54 seconds, 2 plays. And then Benton found his way into the orange end zone.
When you're Drew Klein and you hand the ball off to Ty Benton, although you never want to think like this as an offensive player, but it truly is a playoff, because when you see Benton do things like that, it makes your job easier. And then you can just sling the rock all over the field to the receivers that you have on the outside. And once again, that's another big-time play going down the field. He finds Branson Hanley splitting the coverage down the field, drops it in the bread bucket. He's done a nice job, although not playing quarterback for a little bit, going back to the backyard days, playing quarterback as a kid. He's looked very comfortable and poised tonight for the Eagles.
Klein, good friends with Blake Witt and the rest of that junior class. On the other side, it was North Putnam slow to get going there, but they eventually found their rhythm there with Kramer getting that touchdown run. But then when in doubt, Benton gets the ball again. This is the one, 64 yards, and the track speed showing off in a big way right there.
And it's the impressive speed that catches your eye. It's backside safeties that have an angle on him and flat out aren't touching him. So that's the speed that Coach Sorrell talked about for his team, specifically Benton, and it's already showing face in that first half.
A lot to cheer about for the folks over there on the South Putnam stands. Before we go to break, we've seen the long line at the concession stand. Your favorite type of concession stand food at a high school sporting event? I know I put you on the spot.
You really put me on the spot.
I know, I'm sorry.
there.
Do you want to take a break and you can think about it? We can come back and you can answer?
No, I think the traditional hot dog and chips is always going to be the go-to when it's at a high school field. If we start talking about anything outside of that, it gets a little bit more fancy and bougier.
I'm with you. I am a popcorn fan. Personally.
I hear you.
Just a ton of salt, just
all the unhealthy things.
Yes. I need some grease coming out of that red and white striped box, baby. Also, if it's not in a red and white striped box or bag.
Is it popcorn at that point?
Thank you. Thank you. There's nothing else left to be said. We'll be back with more high school football presented by Endeavor Communications here on ISC.
Want lightning-fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town, so you can download huge files in a flash, stream videos at blazing speeds, and game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click WeEndeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
Halftime rolling along here at North Putnam High School with the youth football players being honored here at halftime and the fans here being entertained by one of the flag football teams we've seen. One of the youth flag football teams taken onto the field here. Rick and Jared back with you here at halftime. And one of the things we've seen grow a lot here in the state of Indiana, we've seen football really take off, and a lot of people credit that to Peyton Manning coming in the late 90s and his obvious great success with the Indianapolis Colts. But, Jared, I think the other fun thing, we see a youth boys flag football team out there now. I think the high school girls flag football, we've seen it really explode across the country, and it is with the backing of the Indianapolis Colts organization. Girls high school flag football has blown up here in Indiana in a big, big way.
There's a sneaky suspicion of mine that I'll be seeing some state championship flag football later on this year with the network, but it's just a testament to the forward thinking of the Indianapolis Colts to get behind such an effort as that. And why not? Because so many people are truly passionate about football. It's not just the guys, but the gals are also the same sentiments shared there. So it's really exciting to see everyone just kind of galvanize that space and make it the best product possible.
You can see a lot as well, not just the young ladies playing in high school girls flag football. You're seeing more and more women on the sidelines for high major colleges and even into the NFL as well with coaching positions or fellowships or the Colts have the IHSAA Fellowship for women in football named after the late Jim Irsay's mother. And so women in football, you can see them in the booth, you can see them on the sideline, you can see them playing. They have really made it a true community effort from both and it starts at the youth and high school levels for both the boys and the girls in Indiana trying to be a front runner in that.
We no longer live in those times where you have to serve X amount of time in this space to work your way up. You can bring all types of unique perspective to the game, whatever sport, whatever industry that you are in. And I think with the game being so analytically sound as it is, there's not just one type of mind that you need at the table. I think you need everyone's perspective, and why not have more women around? Because honestly, they're a lot smarter than we are.
1,000%. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Big time lead for South Putnam here at half as they've scored every time they've touched the ball except once. They'll get the ball to start the second half when we come back here from North Putnam High School as the Cougars trail the break 39-19 to their county foe, the South Putnam Eagles. You're watching high school football on Endeavor Communications, presented tonight on the ISC Sports Network.
Want lightning-fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town. So you can download huge files in a flash. Stream videos at blazing speeds. And game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click weendeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
Are you gonna come see me? Wait.
Back here at North Putnam High School, matchup between the Cougars of North Putnam and the Eagles of South Putnam here tonight. As South Putnam will get the ball to start half number 2. They scored scoring drives in that first half. They scored 6 different times. They had scoring drives of 2 plays, 6 plays, 7 plays, 1 play after a turnover, 5 plays, and 2 plays. And again, 3 rushing touchdowns for Ty Benton, 3 passing touchdowns for Drew Klein, as the Eagles offense picking up right where they left off a year ago. We mentioned they averaged over 41 points per game. They put a lot of their position guys out there in the track and field world, and we've seen it work beautifully for the Eagles here tonight. They have speed all over the place.
I think one thing that we haven't talked about so far in this game that Coach Sorrell discussed with us earlier in the week is when you get a chance to go that far into the postseason the year before, that's that many more weeks you get of extra football, which helps the maturation and development of your younger class, the younger groups that's up and coming. And so the freshmen and the sophomores from last year that are now sophomores and juniors this year, it not only develops you just by being around longer, but it also makes you hungrier after you take that loss in the semi-state coming into tonight's game and this season, and we've seen that effort on full display.
Yeah, they got about an extra month, 3 weeks to a month of football, and it's even more so when we talked about this junior class has been heralded for so long in about 30 minutes south of where we currently are down in South Putnam. So you get these guys this year, and then they're all coming back next year, and you pair that with those sophomores that were freshmen a year ago. That extra practice is paying dividends here, and the work in the offseason. South Putnam looking fantastic here in week 1.
And I'll continue to sing this song. When you put the necessary resources into your youth, you won't get to that high school level and feel like there are gaps between graduating classes because the development and the programming is already in place. So now you're just plucking and playing as each year goes by.
Teams making their way back onto the field. What would you like to see out of North Putnam here? They're going to start on defense here to start this third quarter. What would you like to see from the Cougars defensively here?
The only reason why you play defense is to get stops. I would love for them to get a stop. I think for their own psyche and morale, it shows that, okay, we're off to a better start than we even saw in the entire first half, and then the offense can take it from there.
Both teams back to start their warm-up here for half number 2, week 1 of the 2025 Indiana high school football season. South Putnam leading by 20. They'll get the ball to start the third quarter. When we come back here next, so you're watching high school football presented by Endeavor Communications tonight on the ISC Sports Network.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Where's the officials?
Lightning fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town. So you can download huge files in a flash. Stream videos at blazing speeds. And game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast. And contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click weendeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people. Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Second half about to get underway here from Cougar Stadium on the campus of North Putnam High School. Rick Johnston, Jared Thomas here with you, along with the rest of our great ISC Sports Network crew here tonight from Putnam County. South Putnam will get the ball to start this third quarter. North Putnam scored the last 3 times they had the ball. South Putnam scored the first 6 times they had the ball. The only time they didn't score was the drive that ended with the clock running out at the end of the first half. A big crowd here on hand. Great weather for week 1 of the 2025 Indiana high school football season, as folks have been making their way here to Cougar Stadium tonight. Get a former conference matchup between these two teams, with both members of the Western Indiana Conference, but North Putnam with a lot of conference realignment here in Indiana. You normally get in the headlines of conference realignment from the college realm of things, but North Putnam, along with a bunch of other teams, have switched conferences. They're in the newly minted Monon Conference, as we're out here in the farm fields on the western side of Indiana tonight.
And looks like it will be Braden Chu again. Back to kickoff.
So you get a look at the North Putnam sideline. 7 wins a season ago. Had a good start to the year, including knocking off the South Putnam bunch. They were number 4 in Class 1A a year ago in Week 3. But like we talked about earlier, Jared, that loss to this North Putnam bunch really kicked the South Putnam season into gear. They've come in tonight, though, they're trying to avoid a wake-up call here in Week 1.
They got to a point where they said enough is enough. The way that we lost that game, because it was very much so in their control early on and late, they just weren't going to allow that season to go to the wayside like it could have. And then you get to the postseason, and the team that you lose by 5-2 goes on and wins the state championship in Class A. And you have to feel encouraged when you see that, because you know you were that close from being that same team holding up that state championship trophy.
Styles Stouch was late to get onto the field, and he'll take this one just inside the 10 on the kick return here for South Putnam. He'll get it out to the 20 or 21-yard line, a return of about 16 yards or so. Noah McConnell, one of the Cougars, in on the stop there for those in the dark blue.
So that was their best, by far their best special teams action.
Drew Klein, the quarterback, still out there for South Putnam. We do not see Khalil Jefferson. So we see him on the sideline, has his shoulder pads off, but he is walking up and down the sideline, encouraging his teammates. That's a good sign there for the 6'4" senior wideout.
Now with the Friday night lights. 11:53 to go here in the third.
First and 10 for South Putnam from their own 21. They're in the white tonight, and they lead by 20. They've led the entire way. Benton on the give, cuts it back, slicing his way through the defense. Stopped just shy of the 30. That'll be a 9-yard tote on first and 10.
He can run past you, but he can also make you miss. So even if you feel like you've got him bottled up, if you're a defender, you still come up with no loose change, because he finds a way past you, and he's up on the safeties quickly.
3 rushing touchdowns in the first half, over 100 yards on the ground in the opening 24 minutes. First drive here, the third quarter. Back to Benton again, this time working the right side, and he'll get minimal yardage, but it's good enough for a first down just across out to that 33.
Great deals, price match guarantee, and in-house appliance repair. Shootings like you love where you live since
3 wide to the right here for South Putnam. Branson Hanley, the lone wide receiver, on the bottom part of your screen. Trips receivers up top, stacked on top of one another. Klein from the gun. North Putnam rushes 4. Klein fakes it and jets his way over the right side, trying to stay on his feet, just holding on to that sock. And then Klein continues to move the pile. Look at the legs for Klein, powering everyone across the 46. A late flag is thrown. A North Putnam defender was down as well. That was Owen Thurman, who was holding on to Klein. So a lot happening on that first down and 10 run.
I couldn't get a clear feel on what this flag could potentially be. It happened right in the middle of the play. But an illegal assist is what they're calling, which is quite interesting, because in the first half we had a couple of push the piles before North Putnam scored their first touchdown. But nonetheless, that's what they called, so that's what we go with.
I think what they're getting is they're getting Hayden Tincher for pulling him from the front instead of pushing from the back. Our professional offensive lineman will give you a thumbs down for the ruling there. Again, he's not saying that he's ever pulled a running back or wide receiver forward, but he could see the logic behind it.
100%. 100%.
So it'll be a spot foul and first down and 7. Benton, a couple to the 38. So it'll be second down and short from the 38. Be second down and 5.
So far, we're just seeing South Putnam be methodical, really go into what we call 4-minute offense, and that's just controlling the clock, milking it as much as you can, but staying in full control of this game as they're in second and manageable.
That's what seventh-year head coach Chuck Sorrell told us. Last year he said we were a home run hitting team on offense. This year they're open for 6 to 10 play drives and being more methodical. They've been hitting home runs left and right tonight as Klein dancing his way. Oh, he's eluding everybody in the backfield. Footwork that would make Usher blush, and he takes it out to the 44 for a first down for Drew Klein.
I'm not sure if Coach Sorrell is watching the same game that we're watching, but everything they've done tonight has been explosive. So I understand the original sentiment, but that may change after tonight, especially the way that Klein is shucking and jiving through the North Putnam defense.
At 7 yards, the fancy way for the junior Drew Klein. Last year led the team in interceptions, but when you become the starting quarterback, you turn your attention focusly to one side of the ball instead of going both ways. Benton, who's been hitting homers all night, and that's the first time he's been stacked up for no gain here this evening.
That's exactly how you do it. Gang defense, the first guy that gets invited to the party. Even if you don't make the tackle, hold him up long enough for the rest of the crew to rally to the football, and the Cougars did it on that play.
Longest drive of the night here for South Putnam. Drive over 3.5 minutes. This is play number 6. Play action, throw across the middle, slipping it in there beautifully as Klein. Good enough for a first down inside the North Putnam 40, and then Styles Stouch on the receiving end of that beautiful throw.
This is what happens when you control the clock running the ball. I start going inside, get off your run keys, and the quarterback makes you pay, getting it to his receivers. Styles going for a first down.
17 yards on that slippery throw from Klein. A little sidearm throw from the shoulder. Again, the baseball player during the spring, so showing off a little bit of that here tonight in week 1. Fresh set of downs, gives off to Benton. Works that left side. He's got some blockers, he's got some room, and he's got some open space, and there goes Benton for touchdown number 4 tonight.
In every game, there are unsung heroes. And it's not always the guys that are scoring the touchdowns, but it's Lucas Hall completely dismantling right there that left side of that offensive line, pummeling that North Putnam defense, allowing Benton to be escorted into the end zone for, I don't know, it feels like the 1,000th time tonight.
Big time run there for Benton. We mentioned last year had a 6 touchdown game. He's got 4 with less than 8 to go here in quarter number 3. South Putnam goes for 2, and then Benton says, well, I might as well have a 2-point conversion to my docket as well. He was pretty good in that a year ago. He had 11 2-point conversions, 8 rushing and 3 receiving.
With 7:44 to go in the third quarter, it's South Putnam 47.
So a 47-19 South Putnam lead as the Eagles have flexed their muscles in a gigantic way tonight. And Ty Benton, 23 and white, has done a lot of the heavy lifting. Week 1, first 100-yard rushing game, and 4 scores on the ground.
And it's truly been the Burger King way. Have it any way you want it. If you want it animal style, if you want it slow and methodical style, the Eagles have done it just about any way that you could possibly draw it up, and the Cougars have had no answer.
When in doubt, turn and give the ball to 23.
It's an easy formula.
It reminds me of a quote I heard this week from Rodney Peete. He was on the Rich Eisen show, and they're asking him about his time playing quarterback in Detroit with Barry Sanders. And he said, I was terrible at carrying out my fakes. And he goes, my coach came and go, how are we ever going to run a bootleg? And he goes, I literally looked at my coach and said, do you see what that man is doing? I have a front row seat. I'm not going to miss that. And so I could see where Klein might going, hey, man, I got the best seat in the house to watch Ty Benton just put on a show. Like, we're not going to carry my fig. I want to see 23 and white do his thing. A 38-yard touchdown run for Benton. Caps a 7-play drive that took over 4 minutes off the clock. That was the longest play, or that was the longest time drive of the night here for the Eagles. Wes Murphy looking to snake his way through on the return. He's had his plenty of offensive and special teams work tonight here for the North Putnam Cougars. And the offense will come back out. They'll actually come out here for the first time tonight here in this third quarter as they trail 47-19.
All right, so it's 1st and 10, 7:34 to go in the third quarter. Christian Kramer leads his
1st and 10 from the North Putnam 43. Kramer under center for probably only the 4th or 5th time tonight. Murphy the lone back, pitching back here to Starr, looking to throw. A wobbly one, and then that'll be defensive pass interference.
We got Griffin Starr rolling out.
As the intended man was Chase Barber, but Branson Hanley looks to be the one there, and he was the one that make that Burge, excuse me, is he is really in a lot of pain. That was Burge, number 9. I apologize. You can see the pain in his legs there as he just ended up tackling Barber. He was in good position, but it looks like his legs are cramping up there in a big way. Defensive pass interference.
Burge was in great position defending the over-the-top route from the receiver from North Putnam.
Kramer, beautiful ball, and wonderful catch by Barber, able to create that separation from Burge, and he hauled it in.
In great position the play before, but got too physical. This time in great position again, but sometimes that ball is just out of your reach, and that's Christian Kramer putting it only where his guy can go up and get it.
But sadly, a holding penalty will negate what was going to be a 27-yard pitch and catch. That's the second or third time that a big play for both teams has been nullified by some yellow laundry.
Those are backbreakers. We've already talked about it, the mental errors. And sometimes it's the physical ones, too, that impede the progress in a game where you need everything to go in your favor.
So 1st and 20. North Putnam moves back to their side of the field of the 48. Murphy motion man. Kramer fakes the handoff. He's going to run into some of his own guys, and that allows South Putnam to come in and able to take him down. Wyatt Thomas was the last one there, but Keenan Mallory Shields picking up where he left off in the first half with a tackle there.
When forces meet in the middle and it's your two best players on your respective sides of the ball, it's always a moment of excitement. Those two treating us tonight, being the figureheads for their respective programs.
2nd down, 16 yards to go after the 4-yard twisting run by Christian Kramer, future Butler Bulldog. A year from now. Had over 1,000 yards rushing and receiving a year ago. Play action, screen, finds Rowe, and he's immediately hit behind the line of scrimmage. And coming in to get that stop is one of the reserves. That's Wyatt Speth.
Doing a nice job fighting off the offensive lineman, cutting underneath him, and then going low on the ball carrier, not allowing him to even potentially break a tackle.
A loss of 3, and it'll be 3rd down and 19. 6 and change remaining here in the third. First drive of the second half for North Putnam. They've trailed the entire way tonight. Starr and Thurman are wide to the left. Kramer in the gun with Murphy back there with him. Blitz pick up by Murphy. Kramer sets his feet. He's got room to work. Tried to throw off his back leg. Now dancing in the backfield. Somehow finds Murphy in midfield down to the 40, and a flag is thrown, and that will be close to the first down, but that's going to move Murphy's wonderful catch and run back, which got him to the 31, which would have been good enough for a first down, but 2 flags thrown back at the 40, and you're going to see it right here upcoming.
This is Chase Barber. There's a difference between being emotional and playing with emotion. Right here, he's just being emotional. You don't need that. You're nowhere near your teammates' lane to the first down for another big play, and it's negated again for the second time on the same drive. A mental error impeding the progress to continue to probe down the field.
Yeah, I mean, because
An illegal crackback block against Barber. You saw that flash come on across your screen. He was 3 or 4 yards away from where Murphy was running. And the line of scrimmage will be 3rd down and a country mile back to the North Putnam 43.
North Putnam taking the same amount of time that the Eagles did on their first offensive drive, except the only difference is they're charging in the wrong direction.
So 3rd down and 25. Kramer drops back and throws a beautiful ball. Barber trying to find it over his shoulder as he got tangled up with Burge, and that ball just a little bit over. They're actually making Hayden in the coverage. But Barber just couldn't find it over his shoulder.
One area of improvement that Coach Sorrell thought would be at the forefront would be this secondary unit. A group a year ago that he felt like had some sputtering going on, but they've stepped up to the plate so far to kick off this 25 season.
4th and 25. Kramer, pooch punt. He drives this sucker A beautiful bounce, and it'll roll and get it out at around the 10-yard line. Kramer with a big-time pooch punt, and it'll be marked down at the 9. So a wonderful punt there for Kramer, but a turnover on that pooch punt will send it back over to South Putnam as they lead 47-19. Tonight's game proudly sponsored by Endeavor Communications. Endeavor Communications doesn't just provide ordinary old internet service. Their blazing fast, high-speed, fiber-based service is a game changer. Don't settle for less. Switch to Endeavor for the winning play and connectivity. Visit WeEndeavor.com or call 1-800-922-6677. Endeavor Internet, your fiber connection, your victory. Klein throws a jet out to the right side, hauled in by Branson Hanley, and that'll be good enough for the first down as he takes it out to around the 25-yard line, call the 23.
The game of inches. Had that ball been a little bit more in front of Hanley, I don't believe Zach McConnell would have been able to come in and make that tackle, and that would have been another big-time explosive play for the Eagles, something that they probably go back and look at tape and find a way, although a great performance, to just make it better with little plays like that.
14 yards on that blistering throw from Klein, who's starting to show off his arm a little bit here in the second half. Give again. Benton's been spectacular tonight, runs into a wall of dark blue. He gets stopped at the 26-yard line.
25-yard line to about 26, 27. So the South Putnam started with
Second down and 7 here for South Putnam.
they are moving right along.
As Jake Turk, backup defensive end, starting offensive lineman, jogging up and down the near sideline here for the Cougars.
In the backfield.
Second down, 4 and change left. Back off to Burton. Wanted to go to his left. Instead, bounces out to his right. He finds some open green turf. He mashes that accelerator, and he gets tripped up right before he could high step his way across midfield. And saving an even bigger run that time was Owen Thurman.
As soon as he gets through that line of scrimmage, watch the purge and burst. Right there, makes the move, and then I'm going to accelerate past everyone. That's exactly what he's done. The only downside on that run, it was on the short side of the field, so a lot more defensive attention in that area, or else if he had more field to work with, that could have been another one.
And Griffin Starr down behind the play for North Putnam, so we'll step aside for an injury timeout. You're watching high school football presented by Endeavor Communications tonight on the ISC Sports Network.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit WeEndeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Late third quarter here.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit WeEndeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Griffin Starr, the injured North Putnam Cougar defender, able to walk off under his own power. Last run was over 20 yards, almost 30 there for Ty Benton. This time, Kaysen Ames, right before he could get to top speed, gets tripped up on first down and 10. Be a gain of about 8 or 9. Good run there for the backup running back.
Coach Sorrell felt like Kaysen Ames and Briar Cook would top out at about 25 carries for the year. But if they start taking care of opponents like they are tonight, I expect that number to go just north of that.
9 yards for the backup running back Ames. More the sledgehammer back with Benton, who can really, really scoot. We've seen scoring 4 rushing touchdowns here tonight.
Doesn't matter who's handing the ball off to.
Almost 3 minutes left to go here in this third quarter. Second possession of the third for South Putnam. Ames dancing, lunging. He'll be just shy of the 35-yard line, but it'll be good enough for the first down on 2nd and 1.
Great price, great deals. Shoey's helping you love where you live since 1970. I should have that memorized.
Second possession of this third quarter for South Putnam. They scored on a Benton 38-yard touchdown run on their first drive of the third stanza. So they try to avenge their Week 3 loss to this North Putnam bunch from a season ago. Fresh set of downs from the North Putnam 36. Ames over the right side, slips his way through, trying to break a tackle, but he fumbled it. Stripping it out of there was Wes Murphy, and we'll see who fell on it. North Putnam saying that they have it, and they do. First takeaway of the night goes to the North Putnam defense as Ames got stripped on the way there. Wes Murphy was one of 3 guys that got his hands in there on the carry.
More times than not, fumbles usually happen when ball carriers are trying to scratch and claw for all of those extra yards. The peanut punch, going back to Mr. Tillman that played for the Chicago Bears, is where that punch-out name comes from. And it's just being that second and third guy to the pile, and instead of going for the tackle, you go for the ball. The Cougars take advantage.
It was Owen Thurman, the last man in there for the Cougars, that jarred it free. North Putnam looking for their first points here of the third. Murphy just in on that strip, trying to move the pile, and it's a nice play on a little swing route on that far sideline on 1st and 10.
Murphy coming out of the backfield there.
Opposite of what the Eagles are doing offensively. North Putnam, when they're on offense, has to move with less than half of the time eluding off of the clock as South Putnam, because as we're going to the back part of this game into the fourth quarter, time is ticking and it is not on your side.
Kramer in the gun. It looks like we got
second down and short with less than 2 to go. Kramer, plenty of room to work, gets a block in front, throws on the run, complete to Rowe at the 45 and ducks his way down out near midfield. He gets stopped at the 48-yard line. Case and Ames stops him, but not before he gets the first down.
This is such effective offense. If you're going to move the pocket and your first and second and your third progression isn't there, the fallout tight end, once that coverage disintegrates, has been there time and time again tonight.
Kramer will shovel pass forward in to South Putnam territory. Sam Went on a little shovel pass coming from his H-back spot on the left side. It'll be second down at the 48 of South Putnam. 4 yards, will be second down and 6. As Went will come off the field. Murphy back in, gives it on, or gets the handoff here, and he finds a nice hole over the right side, and that'll be good enough for another first down to the Eagle 38-yard line.
As we see right now, fatigue starting to set in for both teams. If you're the Cougars, you would have liked this game to be a bit closer, because as this game winds down, you can find some big plays out there just by continuing to execute.
Deep ball thrown up the near sideline. Barber, the intended man. Witt was coming over from that safety spot, trying to play center field and haul it in. It'll be incomplete. You look the last couple of plays, keep an eye towards the back of the backfield. You see Owen Thurman lining up about 10 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. He's off your screen right now. He's all the way back at his own 45-yard line. They've not utilized him yet. That's 3 snaps in a row where they've had that similar formation. Murphy burrows his way forward for a short gain on 2nd and 10.
Reminds me of the offensive structures in arena football, something that I played in just a few years ago in the IFL, but those receivers starting back, a lot shorter field in the arena league, but I like the uniqueness that comes with that offensive set for the Cougars.
Kyler Hankins is a backup running back. Pressure comes, throw far side, coming back to try to get it. It'll be in and out of the hands of Owen Thurman as he slipped a little bit there, trying to come back on that comeback route. Incomplete, stops the clock with about 10 seconds left to go here in the third.
But did a nice job working his way back to the football, which is all you can ask if you're a quarterback, working to the far side of the field and rolling to your non-dominant shoulder.
4th down and 8 for North Putnam. They trail 47-19. They've trailed the whole way here tonight. And a timeout on the field for North Putnam. We'll step aside as they come back and try to draw up a play here for 4th down and 8 here late stages of the third quarter. You're watching high school football presented by Endeavor Communications tonight on the ISC Sports Network.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
10 seconds left to go here in the third. A beautiful night as North Putnam breaks in their brand new turf here at Cougar Stadium. They've got the ball. It's 4th down and 8 as they trail 47-19 to number 3 South Putnam. The Eagles at a Class A, North Putnam, in Class 2A. Christian Kramer, the Butler commit, taking part in FCS football a year from now for the Bulldogs in Indianapolis. As he's got Wes Murphy, did have Wes Murphy with him, and then he breaks out into a route. He was open for a moment. Kramer looks for a little fling pass. Oh, he's got Murphy wide open inside the 20. He turns and he will go in and get smacked right as he steps inside the goal line, but a wonderful throw and route from Kramer to Murphy.
That's outstanding maneuvering by the offensive play caller on North Putnam, understanding as routes go down the field, underneath defense forgets about the running back. And there you see Wes Murphy getting out to the flat. Quarterback rolls out to his left once again, but then just turns up the field. Kramer finds him. Another score for the Cougars of North Putnam.
36 yards on that touchdown pass. That's Kramer's second touchdown pass of the night. He has accounted for all 4 of the touchdowns here this evening for North Putnam. Should we add the extra point? And he does. And that caps an 8-play drive that takes 2 minutes and 29 seconds off of the third quarter clock. And North Putnam able to get their first score here of the second half, and they now trail by 21. So again, a fourth touchdown in total tonight for Christian Kramer. You can see why the folks in Indianapolis and Butler are excited to get him on their roster a year from now. Again, a dual threat guy, and that's kind of what Butler's been known for the last couple of years. They've got a lot of dual threat quarterbacks, and you have a guy in Kramer that threw for over 1,000 yards, rushed for well over 1,000 yards as well. He's a picture-perfect guy for that Butler offense.
The quarterback that comes to mind that was just there a couple years ago, Brett Bushka, that did so many things with his arm and his legs. But the intriguing part about Kramer is he really didn't start being a dual threat until just a couple of seasons ago, and then last year took a major leap as a junior, leading the team in rushing actually. 206 carries, 1,700 rushing yards, 25 rushing touchdowns, 1,900 passing yards, and 14 passing touchdowns. So that's something that he's added to his game, and I'm assuming has helped him land at Butler in Indianapolis.
Onside kick, smothered up though by South Putnam, just inside the 50.
Lucas Harris has to be one of the players of the game. Linebacker, offensive line body, right in the middle of the well, catches the onside kick with his hands, takes the licks from the Cougars, and stands tall and retains possessions for his Eagle teammates.
Each team gets a touchdown in that third quarter. South Putnam will have the ball to start the final quarter of play here in week 1. When we come back, you're watching high school football presented tonight by Endeavor Communications on the ISC Sports Network.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our speed geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
A big night to say the least for Ty Benton. 4 rushing touchdowns. He eclipsed 100 yards rushing in the first half, and here's all 4 of them. They were all excited.
All explosive. That's the only word that I can find in my brain that really encapsulates what he's done tonight. He's been shifty, he's been lightning fast, and he's been the pale horse coming out of the backfield for the Eagles.
Klein fakes the handoff, and he'll get a couple as he tried to give it off to Benton, who slipped. Good smart play there from Klein. Maybe feel that Benton was losing his footing. You don't want to turn it over on the first play of the 4th. It looks like South Putnam trying to take a little bit of air out of the ball right now. It's like a 2-yard gain on 1st and 10. Benton had 7 rushing, 100-yard rushing games a year ago. He eclipsed that in the first half on his 3 rushing touchdowns in the opening half alone. Each team with a touchdown in that 3rd stanza. First drive of the 4th here. Here's more handoff work for Benton. Up the middle, tried to hurdle a man. Now he bulldozes over another. Almost was able to rip out of the grasp of Hankins, who held on for dear life.
One thing that Coach Searle says about Benton is he knows how to get yards and score. You see here guys just attacking his legs, the balance that it takes to take those hits and continue to churn your legs for positive yards and first downs.
15-yard run there for Ty Benton, who's been spectacular tonight. And if you're just joining us, no Khalil Jefferson since the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second, left with a lower leg injury, but has been up on the sideline cheering on his teammates. Benton trying to give him something more to hoot and holler about, and look at the fancy footwork from Ty Benton, asking everyone in North Putnam, may I have this dance tonight?
When you're an offensive lineman for South Putnam, all you have to do is get in guys' way. You see Tepin here just gets an extra shove, already out of position, but when you have a special running back like Benton, even a last-second effort is good enough for him to continue to harass this defense of North Putnam.
12 yards on the scoot for Ty Benton. 4 wide here for Klein. Back in the gun. 5 in the secondary for South Putnam, for North Putnam, excuse me. Benton again. He gets wrestled down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Hank Wood back onto the field for a loss, or actually no gain on the play.
It's a nice job by the defense just growling to the ball. When you have those pullers, there is a soft and short edge to the offense because guys are moving out of gaps, trying to plus them on the other side. So if you're a defensive lineman, just run for the backside hip of that offensive lineman, and we saw them do that there and creating the no gain there on defense.
North Putnam almost jumped into the neutral zone. Just the second time tonight that Benton's been held for no gain. But Benton on the wheel on this little route right up the middle of the gut of the defense, and Klein led him a little bit, but he had some commotion in his face.
A similar play that we saw from Anthony Richardson get hurt in preseason, a blitz on empty protection. The only difference is Klein gets the ball out of his hands probably a hair earlier than he really wanted to. But once again, that understanding on empty protection. You don't have an extra blocker for that guy, so you know you have to get the ball out, and you have to be able to brace for that hit coming from the defense.
3rd and 10. Clock is stopped with 9:50 remaining in this one. Benton, handoff over the right side. He is so slippery. Breaks free again to the 10, to the 5, and that's the 5th rushing touchdown tonight for Ty Benton.
The storyline of tonight has been the resurgence of a track program into this repertoire for the Eagles. And all we've seen is them switch the pendulum last year, being the one on the deficit side of that gap in speed. Now they're the ones creating the deficit in speed. Ty Benton once again.
And he did the majority of the work on that drive, had multiple 10-plus yard runs, caps it off with a 24-yard run. 5th rushing touchdown of the night for Benton, one off of the season high he had last year as a sophomore. Aiden Beasley now on to try his hand at the extra point. First time we've seen Beasley out there tonight. He's one of the only kickers that are official true kickers that's listed on the South Putnam roster, but he'll leave this one short. And with 9:43 left to play here in the 4th, South Putnam adds to the lead thanks to the legs of one Ty Benton. So each team had a touchdown in the 3rd as Benton chalks up his 5th rushing touchdown tonight. Again, he has had rushing scores of 48, 24, 64. That was all in the first half. 38 in the 3rd and 24 here in the 4th. The Ty Benton show has been worth the price of admission tonight.
He's had over 150 yards on touchdown carries alone. I mean, it's been a solo act tonight, but that wouldn't even be able to tell the entire story of what we've seen from the South Putnam offense and defense.
He's got to be knocking on 200 yards total with as many 8, 10-plus yard runs he's had here tonight. And in that first half, there was a lot of quick strike, short drives, big plays. Here, 2 methodical drives in the second half, but still capped off by some pretty big-time home run plays from Benton.
At the end of the day, that efficiency says each time that they've touched the ball tonight, they've found a way to be productive, scoring touchdowns on pretty much every drive besides 2, the fumble in the 3rd quarter and then the one at the end of the first half where they were really just trying to get into halftime.
Kickoff here. Rowe takes it a little bit over the shoulder. One of the upbacks of North Putnam. That's a big man rumbling hard. He takes out across the 45. He'll be stopped at the 48. So with 9.5 minutes left to go, North Putnam with some pretty good field position here. Kramer back at the controls, keeps Murphy back with him in the backfield. 3 wide here for North Putnam. South almost jumps off sides. They get back in time. Kramer trying to figure out what play to call here. Finally gets it away. Pressure comes from his weak side. Throws a jump ball and almost able to track it over his shoulder was Griffin Starr. As Starr was pleading for a defensive pass interference to be thrown, but it falls on deaf ears. Incomplete pass on first down.
The only thing that Brody Burge does here is he's trying to tug that offensive receiver, and he just holds on for a little too long. So as soon as that official sees your hands outstretched, grabbing jersey, they're going to get you wide open and in space every single time.
So there is the defensive pass interference. That'll be even better field position here. Good to see Starr back onto the field. Remember, he was cramping up a little bit earlier in this second half. Good to see him back out there at full song. Now move the ball to the 42-yard line, or 37-yard line here of South Putnam. Play action, Kramer. Nice tight spiral, trying to get it again, and that'll be another flag thrown as Starr had the nameplate on the back of his jersey tugged there. You can see the shoulder pad starting to come exposed from Starr.
As you can see, this is exactly what South Putnam does. A lot of man coverage. Coach Sorrell highlighted on the call, and they've done a nice job, but it's Burge going and being too physical when he doesn't need to be. You're in great position. Trust your in-phase positioning. Go play the ball. Leave your hands off those receivers.
Back-to-back plays that Burge has been burned. He's a junior starting one of those corners for South Putnam. So great field position here for the Cougars. 1st and 10 from the 22. Handoff, Murphy. Try to cut it back, and he gets stopped immediately. Good pressure by the front 7 of South Putnam. slow that progression there.
It's worth noting that Keenan Mowry Shields has gotten a much-needed rest these last couple of possessions. Hasn't been out there, giving some more experience to those younger guys in that other linebacker position.
Kramer reverses, throws end zone, and incomplete. That was Burge in coverage there. Again, he had been called for the 2 defensive pass interferences earlier in the drive and able to make life a little bit difficult for the receiver behind him.
It's a great job by Burge staying with the play just as much as the offense was. You could see him right here at the end, flying from the opposite side of the field, going and playing this ball from Christian Kramer, and you see him outreaching his arm. And that was all that he needed to get in the vision of that receiver to haul that one in.
And an eligible man downfield, and that might have been caused by the twisting and turning of Kramer. So the down count and move it back to the 25-yard line. Kramer claps, gets, play action. Pressure in his face, throws off his back foot, and it'll be intercepted by Blake Witt, or was he out of bounds? He tried to walk the tightrope and around the 2.
2 things on this play. Christian Kramer had his tight end underneath, who's been doing a great job, Hudson Rowe, and then Blake Witt. I know he bobbled it for just a second, but right there, that foot and the toe drag, that's good on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
So a tough break there for Witt. Great camera work by our crew tonight. They have been fantastic. Matt Badio, Ian Wheeler, and Anastasia Sorrell on the cameras tonight for us, getting you these great pictures. Incomplete pass from Kramer, and it'll be 4th down and behind the sticks here for North Putnam with less than 9 to go. Barber, the one they were trying to find, couldn't hook up. There's a lot in this second half, Jared. Kramer's had at least 1 or 2 men in his face, it seems like, every snap when he drops back.
Especially when he's been trying to extend the play, having to run away from one guy. Here comes a second guy. Plays getting extended sometimes ways on the offensive line, the illegal man down the field just a couple plays ago. And also the quarterback, too.
Kramer tried to connect with the diving Thurman. Would have made an incredible catch just off his fingertips at the 5, and it'll be a turnover on downs with 8.5 left to go here in this one.
He had his guy, blown coverage. Thurman open once again. Just unable to bring it in, Owen Thurman.
And South Putnam gets the ball back. North Putnam had won 6 out of the last 9 meetings coming into this one. And before that first snap, Klein and South Putnam take a timeout. 8:38 left to go here in regulation time. All South Putnam as you're watching Indiana High School football presented tonight by Endeavor Solutions here tonight on the ISC Sports Network.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Tonight's game is proudly sponsored by Endeavor Communications. Endeavor Communications doesn't just provide ordinary old internet service. Their blazing fast, high-speed, fiber-based service is a game changer. Don't settle for less. Switch to Endeavor for the winning play in connectivity. Visit WeEndeavor.com or call 1-800-922-6677. Endeavor Internet, your fiber connection, your victory. A hard running play there on 1st and 10 for the backup running back coming in there in Briar Cook for South Putnam. It looks like Ty Benton's night has come to a close, and rightfully so after 5 rushing touchdowns and almost 200 on the ground.
Give those legs a blow. your team is expected to go the distance, Ty Benton is going to be the #1 reason as to why. And anytime you can steal some rest time for him, it's time well spent.
And Wes Murphy down on the field here for North Putnam. Has seen a lot of guys cramping up here in week #1.
The biggest reasons for that is you go from being in controlled settings in practice. You don't get as many plays as you're going to get in the actual game in practice. And then you go into an actual game setting where that exertion, that adrenaline is running a lot more than it normally would given on a given day of practice. So I would expect there to be a lot more improvement in this department for both teams going into the rest of the season.
Jerry, we mentioned it. You're offensive lineman for the Memphis Showboats in the UFL, played at Cathedral, played at Northwestern. What's it like when you're going from training camp, where it's been incredibly hot the last couple of weeks, to a night where it's 15, maybe 20 degrees cooler now that we're here at the end? What does that do for a player's body?
It shows you exactly why you put in all the time to be in training camp, because you can actually enjoy playing football and not worrying about cramping up during that training camp phase. But honestly, it's just a preparation. That's all it is. It gets you ready. It calluses your body physically and mentally to get ready to take on whatever challenge you have on the field on Friday nights or Saturday nights or whatever day you play. And I think that's all a part of this entire experience for these high school players. So when you walk out to the game day field and the weather isn't a factor, it's like, okay, we can actually focus on other things besides being hydrated and not cramping.
How big tonight when they go home, and I'll have you answer this, how big is it tonight and into the weekend to rehydrate after game one and also refuel as well? We'll get your answer after this. Third down play here for Klein and South Putnam, as he's got Cook set as the running back with him, 3 wide. Hand off to Cook again. Hole over the right side, running straight up and down. Nice cutback move. He's outside the numbers of the 50. He's already in North Putnam territory. He gets pushed. He runs out of his shoe, and still a monstrous run for Cook. But a flag is thrown back at the 46. So hold the phone, everybody.
I love the effort from Brody Burge, and I think they get him on a hold down the field. And it's right here, going to be to the right of your screen, right about there. You can't see it, but he was engaged with that defender probably for a little bit longer than the officials were comfortable with, and maybe got him for a holding.
They'll mark this off. It still should be good enough for the first down from the spot. So good enough for a first down. Instead of being well inside North Putnam territory, South Putnam will have the ball at their own 44. That's a 17-yard run officially, as Cook exits and Ames comes back into the game. He's with Klein there in the backfield. 1st and 10. Ames gets it, threading his way through, and he'll be ridden down right at midfield, ridden down by Sam Osborne. Seven yards on the tote. So we dip below 6.5 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Let's go back to that earlier question I posed to you, Jared. How important is this weekend after week one for all of these guys to not only hydrate well tonight, eat well tonight, but also keep it going through the weekend? Because as we know, with Indiana weather, we wait 15 minutes and it's going to change.
It's just in preparation for the next game, and that process can't take place 24 to 48 hours before the game. It has to start tonight. It's almost like if you go into a gunfight with a knife, you feel confident that you can make something happen, but eventually you're going to be outmatched. And it's the same with your hydration. If you go into a game and you only hydrated 24 or 48 hours before, once the game gets going, you just don't know if you'll be able to stand the test of time.
They'll move the change there. Good run there from Ames as he exits. It'll be a first down and 10 at the North Putnam 46-yard line. That was a tote of 7 yards for Kason Ames, the 6-foot sophomore. So you look at Benton and Ames, that is a youthful running back room with Benton the junior and Ames the sophomore. Cook in here now with Klein, who's making his return to the starting quarterback spot for the first time as a high schooler, as Cook slips his way through the arm tackle of Beckett Brager and gets a couple more for his hard work.
These are the games that turn into offensive line contests. Let's see the young guys get in there, throw some blocks for the ball carriers, contribute to this game that has been well within the control of the South Putnam Eagles, but loving to see on both sides numerous second and third stringers getting in there, getting some tick on this Friday night.
Cook, the running back in there now, also a junior, so every running back we've seen tonight for South Putnam has got at least one more year of high school football. I know it's a long way to look ahead in week 1 of 2025, but if you're an Eagle fan, you've got to love the running back room you have here as Cook keeps dealing out punishment, ran through 2 tackles. Initially stopping him was Thurman, and then he waited for his buddies to come in and help, but not before it was a gain of hard-earned 3. It'll be 3rd and 4 as Cook bowling balling his way through the defense.
Described as old fullback down the middle type. I think anything you saw from Briar Cook has been exactly that. I love how he just covers the ball up with both hands and just runs straight. That's a lot more effective than trying to run around someone.
Where's number 42? Looking like Mike Allstott used to wear number 40 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in the day. Also had his time at Purdue.
All-time leading rusher at Purdue.
Offsides against North Putnam on 3rd and 3. So that'll be an automatic first down with under 4 to go here in the 4th quarter. That'll be a fresh set of downs from the 34-yard line here for South Putnam. His offense at the controls of Drew Klein has been nothing short of spectacular tonight, as they've scored every time they've touched the ball outside of twice. Trying to take it to the finish line here. Klein calls his own number. Gets a little extra block on the outside. Sidesteps his way through. And Klein still running hard here in the late stages of the 4th. Gets close to the 25. We'll call it the 26.
I love when storylines merge together, and that's Coach Chuck Sorrell being a head coach at South Vermilion for a few years, going 4-26 in that span of time. And he said something that really stuck out to me in an interview, and he said he learned to allow coaches to coach. Seth Hammond is the offensive play caller. Well, that South Vermilion team that he was the head coach of, he tried to call the plays on that team, but Derek Moyers, who used to coach a long time at Pike, now one of the athletic directors at Warren Central, said that you have to allow your coaches to coach. Now, that doesn't mean Coach Sorrell doesn't coach at all, because he is the play caller for the defense, but allowing, even as the head guy in charge, others to contribute, coaches and players, that's a beautiful thing that we've obviously seen permeate through the rest of this organization and football team.
And I think you talk about that camaraderie and how letting your coaches coach. I think that's why they probably felt comfortable going to that special teams coach by committee, where every coach on the staff has a different aspect of special teams. And Coach Sorrell mentioned that he said the greatest part about it is when we do special teams during practice, which he mentioned. He said, we do a lot of, because we know it's one of our weak points. He goes, we know everybody's engaged because all of the coaches have their hands in a different aspect of that unit of the team.
Also known as culture, and I think that's what he's done now in his 7th season as head coach, hired just before that 2019 season. And it's no secret why they continue to get better year after year, and it's partly due to his leadership.
2nd down and 2 as Dallas Mullen, the backup quarterback sophomore, comes in for the first time. So Klein's night is done with 3 and change left to go here. He was ready to hand it off to the running back Cash Monnett. Cash Monnett, the youngster, he will exit stage left as Briar Cook back out there. And it'll be a week 1 win here for South Putnam, the preseason team ranked 3A in the USA Today poll and the coaches poll as well. As Mullen saw some time a year ago, hands off to Cook. And right now the clock is the biggest enemy of South Putnam tonight, and it was their enemy Jared at the end of the first half when they had scored on all 6 possessions, and then the clock ran triple zeros in the way of possession number 7 to start the night. And I think they'll be a little less upset than they were maybe at the end of the first half with they don't get any points here in the final 2.5 of the 4th.
Is that maybe foreshadowing into them having to scheme and game plan against the clock? If
Yes.
games are going to go like this for them the rest of the year, how do we outpace the clock?
I think you give the ball to Ty Benton and just let the man go. A almost 200-yard rushing night. I haven't taken a math class since high school, which was eons ago, back when the rotary phone was popular. But I'm pretty sure he got the 200 yards just by kind of eyeballing it tonight. But 5 rushing touchdowns. Ty Benton has put his foot down in a big, big way here in week number 1 for the Class A teams.
It's one thing when you're competing and you lose and you feel like the game got out of hand, but I think physically North Putnam got dominated up front. The offensive line, which Keenan Mowry Shields is also a part of, a position that he went back to after spending time at tight end last year. But that group dominated this entire game from start to finish. And so that's why Ty Benton has been able to have as much success as he's had, and exactly why we're watching the second and third stringers get in there on the action.
Hey, you mentioned Mowry Shields, tight end a year ago, didn't want to leave that tight end spot, but he was convinced to move to the offensive line. It's paid dividends. That's probably the one thing tonight, Jared, I don't think we've seen, and we didn't have to see it from the South Putnam offense, was they're really excited about their tight end and H-backs this year. It kind of gives them a different aspect, a different weapon, particularly the RPO game. They didn't need it tonight with obviously the dominant rushing attack, but these guys have really, really come together. They've got a lot of different tools in the toolbox to be effective offensively this year.
And truth be told, it was a lot of spread attack today. And if anything, it was 50-50 between tight end sets, just 11 personnel, a tight end and a running back, and spread sets where it's no tight end and 1 running back. So I think what you're seeing from this South Putnam team, as we get some unsportsmanlike here at the end of the play, garnering another piece of laundry hitting the turf, there's just multiple ways that the Eagles can attack you, which I feel like Coach Sorrell didn't feel like his team had a year ago.
3rd and 30+ for the youngster Mullen. Getting his first snaps here of his sophomore year. High snap. He gives it off to Mon, who makes up some of that. 90 seconds left. And South Putnam will have to run one more play here at the end of regulation tonight, but they have dominated from the opening kickoff tonight. They forced a 3-and-out after what looked a couple of early plays promising for North Putnam. Their offense stalled out, and then after that, it was the South Putnam offense that took center stage and did not bat away tonight. It's our officiating crew huddling up.
If I were to dumb this down in just to one storyline of what I saw, I think South Putnam came ready to play. They swung first, connected, and I never really felt like North Putnam recovered. They scored a couple of times. They kept it interesting just from what could they do if things go their way. But truthfully being told, this was never really within their reach from the start. And that's a credit to what Coach Sorrell and his crew has done coming in here to start the season, also getting some get back from a year ago, losing by 1 at their own home field.
So it looks like the plays, the downs got out of whack, and so that's what the officials were huddling up for. So that brings the North Putnam offense back out of the field after a unique turnover on downs. Final couple plays here of week number 1 tonight. Murphy on the handoff, accelerates over the right side, cuts back inside the 30, and Murphy with some fancy footwork, and he goes in for a 49-yard touchdown run. A really nice individual effort from Wes Murphy. He's been the best offensive player tonight for the Cougars.
As you can see, once he gets loose on the edge, he can make you miss. Tweedledee, and then another Tweedledum, and then a touchdown. Wes Murphy doing a nice job, even when the game is decided, still finishing through the echo of the whistle and until the clock said 0.
So Murphy's had 2 touchdowns here in the second half, a receiving and a rushing touchdown. This one from 49 yards out on the ground. With just about a minute left to go here from Roachdale, Indiana tonight. So it'll be Braden Chu to try to add the PAT. And Chu out of the hold of Owen Thurman, has also been active tonight on all 3 phases.
Chu on to kick the extra point. Not another penalty.
And South Putnam jumps off sides before they could snap it away. Chu made the extra point. At this point, could you just, I know you can't decline it because it happened before the snap, but can you just kind of go, hey, we all saw him make it, right? Like, we're good.
It looked like Coach Moore was signaling to decline it.
Are you serious? You're right, bud.
And so they'll tee it up and give Chu another opportunity here to do a little in-game kicking work. The other interesting fact when we talked with Coach Short at South Putnam, he did point to one of the reasons for their kicking woes this year on the South Putnam side is their school doesn't have a soccer program. So he said, the good thing is we're not trying to compete with guys that could come and kick for us that are out playing soccer. He goes, well, the problem is you don't have some guys walking the hallways that you can go, hey, you want to come kick on Friday night? So it's kind of a double-edged sword for them, but that it can be one of the reasons why their kicking woes have hurt the team in White here the last couple of seasons.
But it's something that has to feel rewarding when you're able to figure out alternatives to still create a feasible solution. And this season will be the platform to see if that actually pans out in their favor. And as he said, there's still a work in progress, but you see how football coaches think. When you have a soccer team, you just hang around the soccer team and just see, who's around. Make sure everyone's going to class, all that good stuff.
You took your physical, right? Have above a 2.0.
I love it.
And you're 6'1", and you've kicked forever. I mean,
meetings start at 3:30.
3:30.
We'll see you there.
Yeah. We'll show you to put the shoulder pads on. It's fine.
You're
Actually,
fine.
You know what? The first 3 practices, don't even worry about the pads. It's fine. But you talk about a very famous kicker that now calls Indiana home, in one Pat McAfee. He grew up and thought he was going to go to college and play soccer or go to Europe and try to go that track to play soccer, and he was just named to the West Virginia Hall of Fame, their class of 2025. So a guy that went from being a soccer player only, said, okay, I'll kind of moonlight playing football, and had a great football career and has probably had an even better media career now. But you look at guys, you kind of go, well, how can soccer and football correlate? I turn to one Mr. Pat McAfee.
That's exactly right. And then the comma on that statement, when you have personality, which goes against everything that specialists really embody, it makes it even more polarizing to watch and also to witness.
To be a fly on the wall with him and Adam Vinatieri. I would paid good money just to watch those guys just hang out during practice.
That's old school versus new school right there.
Yeah. But the good thing is, I think from some of those conversations, I think McAfee made Vinatieri a little bit new school there towards
100%,
the end. Yeah.
100%. How could you not? How could you not?
So about 65 seconds left to go here. 20-point lead for South Putnam as they're going to come away with a Week 1 victory. They scored on their first 6 possessions of the first half. And the only thing that stopped them here in the second half was the fumble in the third quarter and then that turnover on downs here in the fourth. But an impressive showing from the number 3 team in Class A. As the Eagles will take the knee. They'll have to do this twice, and then that will be it for Week 1 tonight here between South Putnam and North Putnam. It was a nail-biter a year ago in Week 3. Here in 2025, Jared, Week 1 goes convincingly to the Eagles of South Putnam.
It's just the way to, in an exciting fashion, start your season really fast. And now the true work begins because for South Putnam, you've had a lot of success to start the season. But at the very end of the day, it's just one game of a long season that they expect to be playing at the back part of November. And then for North Putnam, the work just begins as well because you got punched in the face, and now you have the rest of the season to respond.
And that will be the ball game, folks, as they'll let the final seconds tick off the clock. And the final time will be 53-33 in favor of South Putnam. We'll take a break and come back with our post-game show next. You've been watching Indiana High School football presented by Endeavor Communications tonight on the ISC Sports Network.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. and fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Back for the final time here from North Putnam High School, where tonight it's the Eagles of South Putnam, number 3 team in Class 1A, defeating North Putnam by a final of 53-33. Jared, final thoughts from our ball game here this evening.
This is exactly what you wanted to see from your football team when you go into week 1 all across the state of Indiana. How well does your team respond to new adversity, going against a different opponent? And I think for both teams, South Putnam stepped up to the plate and knocked it out of the park. For North Putnam, they had some glimpses, but still more work to do.
Story of the night, MVP and player of the game, and the plays of the game all belong to Ty Benton. 5 rushing touchdowns, had over 100 yards rushing in the first half, and he got close to 200, or got over 200, and the final numbers are tabulated this evening. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Endeavor Communications. Internet speeds up to a gig. Find out more at weendeavor.com. For our great crew, led by Charlie Hammock, our director, graphics tonight was Cedric Sweet, replay Dalton Cox, camera operators who were absolutely fantastic tonight, Matt Badio, Ian Wheeler, and Anastasia Sorrell. For our top-notch analyst, Jared Thomas, my name is Rick Johnson saying so long from North Putnam High School. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight to this presentation of Indiana High School football presented by Endeavor Communications on the ISC Sports Network.